There's no tears coming out of your face.
I'm very dry right now.
You're dry?
I'm very dry. I'm parched. I'm dehydrated. You can probably see my eyes are bloodshot red because I'm just tired and drained. I don't know what's going on. You want me to drink water so I can tear? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that this seems a little put on.
Meet Eugene Gleiger. For 23 years, this case had no suspects, no answers, and no justice. A mother was found brutally murdered inside her own home in an upscale Maryland neighborhood. Her killer vanished without a trace. The niece had DNA. They knew the killer fought with her. They knew he was inside the house, but there was one problem. The DNA didn't match anyone.
Okay, well, first thing is, like, you said that you found some evidence of another person being there. Did that have any correlation?
So instead of a suspect, detectives turned their attention somewhere else. Leslie Preer's husband, Sandy Preers.
My gut feeling is that your dad had something to do with this.
Behind the scenes, investigators began building a case against the man who found her, questioning his story, pushing the idea he may have killed his own wife. And during one of the most emotional interviews in the case, the victim's daughter sat across from detectives, defending her father. She stood by him, took up for him. But detectives didn't back down. They were adamant, pressuring her, insisting her father was responsible.
You guys, I don't mean to show any disrespect, but I've been cooperating with you since day one, and I think I've answered enough questions.
Sandy Preer's Fort interview is coming up in a separate video. Meanwhile, the real killer walked free for over 2 decades until one day, a simple water bottle changed everything. Investigators quietly collected DNA from a man at an airport, and what they found shocked everyone. The killer wasn't a stranger. He wasn't a drifter. He was someone who had been inside the home before, someone the family trusted, the daughter's ex-boyfriend, Eugene Gleiger.
And this is really cutting off.
All right, we'll adjust it. We'll adjust it. Okay. Hold on. They're not made for comfort, but we'll make it.
I get it.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll ease it up on it. Yeah, no problem. I ain't got nothing personal wrong with you.
Yeah.
Now imagine this. You're sitting in an interrogation room, and detectives look you in the eyes and say, your DNA was found at the crime scene.
So from the crime scene, the DNA that was taken, we actually have a sample of your DNA, and it was compared to the crime scene DNA, and it matched.
He doesn't confess. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he says, I don't remember.
I don't know what to say. I have no recollection.
In this video, you're going to watch the real interrogation unfold, including interviews with his own brother and the victim's daughter who once dated Eugene. The same woman who had made her realize the man she trusted was hiding something unimaginable. This is the story of a killer who hid in plain sight while suspicion was pointed in the wrong direction. And the moment the truth finally came out. Let's get into the interrogation.
Hi, Eugene.
Hello.
So I'll be going back on water, right?
Okay.
And
I'll be able to,
if we need a break or something, we can let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
I am Detective Agustin. This is Detective DuPoy.
Hi there.
From Montgomery County.
Okay.
I'm sure you're wondering what this is all
I
about.
would really like to know.
Yeah.
This has been really hard, whatever's happening.
Well, we're going to get through all of that with you. We just have to do some paperwork real quick.
Yep.
Before we can talk to you about anything, we have to read you your rights. So I have some of this filled out already, but what is your physical condition today? Do you have any injuries? Are you feeling okay?
I mean, I'm feeling a little bit caught off guard, and I'm from the handcuffs. Seems to be a lump on my hand. I don't know if it is, but you know, I have no idea. Is it swelling? Is it a blood clot? I don't know.
Okay.
I've been holding my hand above my heart just so hopefully it helps to heal. You know, otherwise, health conditions. I mean, I've been under the weather.
Okay.
But
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, nothing.
All right. Nothing that's clouding your mental judgment or anything like that, though.
I mean.
Okay, so now that that's out of the way, we are from Montgomery County. We actually work in the cold case unit. We investigate crimes that have been unsolved for quite a period of time. We investigate homicides and rapes. So we were working on a case that came from Chevy Chase. And when we were going through the case file, your name was in there as someone that was related to the family, whether we have a big list of people, but friends, family, something like that. So do you recall back in 2001, Leslie Preer?
Yes, that she was murdered,
Yes. Okay, so that's the case that we are investigating. So you went to BCC with her daughter at the time?
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay, and what was your relationship with Lauren, the daughter?
We had dated.
Okay, and when did you guys date? Do you remember years?
Exact dates, I'm not entirely sure.
Were you in high school, or was it after high school?
Yeah, it was high school. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe like 1994 to 1997 or something around there.
Okay. And from your dates of birth, I can see you're a little bit younger than Lauren. So was she already graduated from high school, or were you guys both still in high school when you guys were dating?
We were both in high school. She had finished high school, and I believe we had dated for a few months while she was in college, but that was it.
Okay. So back then, when you guys were dating, where did you live?
I lived in with my mother in Rockville.
Okay. Do you remember the address or what street or anything?
I wish I did. I don't.
Okay. And you said you lived with your mother. Were your parents separated?
Yeah.
Okay. Where did your dad live?
He lived in Chevy Chase, and yeah.
Do you know the street or
neighborhood?
or?
Brookside Drive.
Brookside Drive. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you and Lauren had dated well before her mother was killed. Do you remember, like, were you still in touch with Lauren when this stuff happened to her mom?
No, we had broken up a couple years before, at least. Maybe longer, I'm not sure. And I believe I reached out just to send my regards, and maybe saw her a couple times, and but that was it.
Okay. Do you remember how you found out about it?
I remember I was at work, and I believe she had actually told me that she had come into where I was working at a restaurant, and she had told me that what had happened.
What restaurant was that? Do you remember?
It was a restaurant called Black's.
Okay.
In Bethesda.
Okay. Let me see. So you guys were just kind of cordial at the time, but you weren't really close. It's not like you guys kept touch that much.
Correct.
Okay. When you guys were dating, how close were you with the family? Like, did you spend a lot of time at their house, or did you know them real well?
I knew the family. I, definitely spent time. She spent time at my house. I've spent time at her house. Yeah, for sure.
So how were you close with her parents?
I mean, I wouldn't say close with them. I don't know how much, I don't know if close would be the right word, but they were friendly with me and nice to me, so, yeah, I mean.
Okay. Let me see. Were you at her house a lot of the time? Or did you guys spend more time at your house, or what did you guys do when you...
I mean, it was a mix. My house, her house, being out. I mean, we're young and teenagers, so there was, going out and...
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say your house, was it your mom's house or your dad's house or both?
Probably my mom's house more so because I lived with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you found out about Lauren's mom, do you remember who you were dating at the time, or were you dating anybody?
I don't recall who I was dating at the time, but yeah, no, I'm not 100% certain.
Okay.
I mean, I had been dating, but I'm not sure.
Okay, and so you were working at a bar. What else was going on in your life at that time?
I can't recall. I mean,
were you working, or were you in
23 years
school, college,
ago.
or?
I worked. I think I was taking classes in college at the time.
Where did you go to college?
Montgomery College.
Okay. In the Rockville or Tacoma Park?
But I took classes at both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you were younger, did you ever get in any trouble with the police or anything?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not that I can recall.
Okay. How well did you know Lauren's mom? Like, was there ever any kind of a weird relationship between you two after Lauren?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't in touch, so I don't.
Okay. So you were never like dating Lauren's mom or anything like that behind the scenes?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't ever in touch. You know that.
Okay. So the reason that we wanted to talk to you is because a lot of the people whose names are in the case file, they've been interviewed throughout the years, and they've been asked to give DNA samples to compare to DNA from the crime scene. And pretty much everybody that's in the list has been talked to, has been eliminated as a suspect. Your name was actually in the file, but they never reached out to you or never spoke to you for some reason. So that's why we wanted to reach out to you and see if you remember or recall anything about the time when Leslie was killed, anything that you remember about your life at the time that like could be relevant, any relationships you had with the family or anything like that.
I really don't recall.
Okay. So from the crime scene, we have DNA from the person who was there when Leslie died. So there's Leslie's blood all over the place, obviously, but then there's also another DNA profile that was picked up from the crime scene. And we had put that into CODIS, our database from the National CODIS DNA Index System, and it has never hit. So whoever was there, whoever's DNA was also on the scene, has never been arrested. And that's why we were going through doing all these elimination DNA samples to find out, you know, okay, well, this person couldn't have done it because we matched their DNA to it. So we realized that they never talked to you, never did anything, and we wanted to find out more about you. And if there was any kind of situation where you could have been at the house at that time.
I'm a little confused. So to find out more and talk to me, why not just call me and ask me to come in and talk to me versus have marshals come and arrest me and bring me in? I'm just confused as to why that's the case.
Well, because we needed to talk to you in a controlled environment, and because there's a little bit more to it than what we've told you so far.
Could you tell me?
Well, we're getting there. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to be a little bit forthcoming before we.
I mean, I feel a little bit trapped here, like.
Well, you're under arrest, so you should feel trapped. Okay?
Right, and so I think, you know, I mean, probably asking for a lawyer is my best course of action at this point.
Okay.
Instead of doing any more discussing or talking about it, it just doesn't seem. I don't understand, so I'd like to have somebody.
Well, that's why we're trying to talk to you about it.
I know,
but we can't.
And there's two of you and one of me, so
Sure.
I feel a little outnumbered, and I probably would need some type of representation if I am under arrest, as you said, which I am.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I think that having a lawyer would be the best for me in my interest at this point.
That's totally fine. And we don't have to ask you any more questions, but we are going to just tell you some stuff.
Okay.
Okay? So from the crime scene, the DNA that was taken, we actually have a sample of your DNA, and it was compared to the crime scene DNA, and it matched. So we know that you were there at the time when Leslie died.
But I never gave a sample of DNA.
That's correct. We obtained a sample from a discarded water bottle that you drank out of. So you were followed, and we collected it after you discarded it into the trash, and it was swabbed and it was compared. So your DNA matches the crime scene DNA.
I don't know what to say. I have no recollection. I have no memory. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well that's why we wanted to talk to you, to find out if there's any other explanation. But we can't ask you any more questions if you want a lawyer present.
Yeah, I think I should have a lawyer present. I don't know what to do or say. It doesn't make sense to me, so I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Do you have a lawyer that you...
No.
Okay.
I don't have to call. I don't know. I would probably call my girlfriend and ask her to help find somebody. I don't know.
You know, we wanted to try to see if there was another angle or another side to this story, and
I mean,
you know, we know
why would
that
my DNA be there?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
So I don't know. I don't know. You know, I mean, I was in the house, but it was years before.
Correct.
You know, when I dated her.
Correct.
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I don't understand. This is all very bewildering, very strange. Is there more that you're going to tell me? Is there more?
I mean, we've told you plenty. We can't continue to ask you questions.
If you want to keep talking, we can. But if you want to stop, you have to let us know for sure.
Yeah.
We can tell you more about, you know, what we think happened.
I don't, I mean, what you think happened, I don't know. I can't verify. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't have any memory. I didn't do anything that you're talking about, so I don't know. And I don't feel like I can, I don't know how to answer and go into, I don't want to incriminate myself with questions. You guys are professionals. I'm not. I don't know. I really do think I need an attorney. I need to use the phone, and I need to call someone, and I need legal representation before I respond to anything else. Okay,
that's fine. We're not going to ask you any more questions. There's no tears coming out of your face.
I'm very dry right now.
You're dry?
I'm very dry. I'm parched. I'm dehydrated. You can probably see my eyes are bloodshot red because I'm just tired and drained. I don't know what's going on. You want me to drink water so I can tear? Like,
no,
what the fuck is
you
wrong
to tear.
with you?
I don't want you to tear. I just don't want
you to... What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to say that this seems a little put on.
Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Oh my God, you're so full of it. You're after. This is the police. This is, yes, like it makes sense. You know, it's in your eyes, it's guilty until proven innocent. I get it.
Well, honey, your DNA was in the crime scene. That's why, like, there's a reason.
There's due process, right?
Sure.
Due process. So you're saying I'm guilty before I've even been put into a court of law?
I'm saying that there's probable cause to believe that you were there when
I think what you were saying was the contrary to that. So okay, but I don't remember. I don't know.
What we're trying to figure out is how your blood was at the scene that day.
if there's an alternate explanation, that's why we wanted to talk to you today, okay? So I feel like you just need to take a breath for a second, okay? That's what we're trying to figure out. Why is your blood there?
Could it have been, you know, an interrupted burglary? Did something happen where you didn't expect anybody to be home?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I don't recall. Again, you're asking me questions that I don't know.
I'm not
and
asking
I
you a
asked
question.
you did. You just asked me a question, and I asked for legal representation, and you guys are very smug looking at me like I've done something, and of course it's innocent until proven guilty, right?
Sure.
Am I wrong or am I right?
You are entitled to your due process, absolutely.
This is insane. This is insane. I really don't know what else to say other than please allow me to, you read it to me, right? That
Yep.
I am allowed legal representation.
Absolutely.
This would be the best thing for me to do right now.
We
I
are
don't
not going to ask
understand.
any more questions.
Nope.
You said you wanted to know more, so we were telling you more.
I'm sorry. I'm really on edge and
I can see.
upset and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. You would like legal representation? That is absolutely your right. We will not ask you any more questions. All right?
And how do I go about doing this?
Well, we're done talking to you. They're going to walk you back over to processing, and once they are done, I don't know if they've done fingerprints and all that stuff with you yet. Once they're done with all that, and you meet with, I think in D.C., you're going to still meet with a commissioner and be charged with this paperwork for this, or be served with it, and then you'll have an opportunity to make whatever phone calls you need to make.
Okay.
I believe that's the process. We're in D.C., so I'm not super, that's how it is in Maryland.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And then at some point, you will be taken back over to Maryland, and then you will figure out what they're going to do in terms of an attorney, because you're in D.C. now, so I don't know if you need a different lawyer unless they're both Maryland and D.C. bar certified. I don't know. I don't know how that goes, but they'll explain it all to you when you get over there.
And if
That's
at
a
any
whole
time
different branch.
you want to talk to us with your lawyer present, we can make arrangements for that. Okay?
I'm really confused, and I'm really at a loss, and I don't know, I don't have any recollection of being involved with any of this.
You keep saying you don't remember, and you don't have any recollection,
Well,
but if somebody was not involved, it would be an adamant, I didn't do this.
I didn't do it. I definitely didn't do it. Like, this is absolutely, this is, you know, I've been an alcoholic in recovery for years now. I've been sober for years. And there are many, many times in which earlier life wasn't great. You know, abusive father, issues that, you know, but at the same time, this isn't something that I know I didn't do it. I know I wasn't involved. And I just don't understand how this has come to this. I really wish I knew. And I really wish I could give you some answers and give you more feedback from an honest perspective, because I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't
know either. That's why we wanted to talk to you. I don't know why your blood is there also. I don't know.
Wow.
The only person that knows is Leslie, and she can't tell us.
Wow. I can't believe it. Oh my God. Do I get to make phone call?
Yeah,
Do I get
we're
to...
all done. Do you have any other questions for us?
I don't, if something comes up, I mean, I'm freaking flabbergasted. I don't know what to say or what to do or what to think right now.
Okay.
Well,
after you talk to your attorney, if you want to talk to us again, my name and information is on the paperwork that you're going to get. You can have your attorney reach out to Montgomery County. He'll be able to figure out, or he or she, whoever, will be able to figure out how to get in touch with us. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to call my girlfriend so she can try to find me a lawyer. I mean, I don't have any lawyer's numbers, so I would need to ask for help with that.
If you want to continue talking to us with a lawyer, that's one thing. If you want to just find a lawyer, then you can do that after they serve you with the paperwork and everything. So is that...
What do you mean? I'm a little confused.
So you can... Are you trying to get a lawyer to sit with you while we talk to you, or do you just want to talk to a lawyer and then be done with it?
I want to talk to my girlfriend and let her know what's happened, but she has no idea. We live together.
Okay, so you can make that phone call after you're served with the paperwork and everything.
But in addition, I need to call. I need a number for. I don't have a number for a lawyer, so I was going to call her and ask for her assistance with it.
Right. When you get over to the jail, you'll be able to make that phone call. I thought you were calling a lawyer right now. I'm sorry. That was my mistake.
But I'm calling somebody that will call a lawyer for me. And she just mentioned it's up to you for me to make a phone call.
Sir, what we're trying to figure out is if you want the lawyer to be here while we're talking to you and questioning you, or if you're just ready.
Yes, I would.
So do you want to continue talking to us, or do you just want to talk to a lawyer?
With a lawyer present, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to, but I need to understand my rights and have some representation instead of me being alone. 2 against 1 is not.
Okay. Well, and you can also have that opportunity when you get to Maryland.
Yeah. So once you, because that process of finding a lawyer and getting somebody to come out and stuff is going to take not just one day. It'll be a drawn out
cut off for today. So cut off for that 10.
Once you find an attorney and
cut off for what? I'm sorry.
So
no, go ahead.
Okay. So here in D.C., our court cutoff time is around 10:30, which means that if you haven't been processed and if you haven't arrived at the courts by 10:30, you'll have to wait to see the judge the next day.
Okay.
So you'll see the judge here in D.C. in the morning or tomorrow sometime, and then the process of them extraditing you back to Maryland and all of that stuff goes into play.
Okay. So you're saying I need to spend a night here?
Oh yeah, you'll be here. Yes, sir.
Once you get the lawyer figured out, they can contact us if you want to talk to us again.
So can I call a lawyer right now?
You will once you get over and you get
process.
But that's not until tomorrow.
When you see the judge. So normally what happens is they'll appoint you a court appointed attorney. I'm sorry, I couldn't get it together. They do that, and then you'll decide, if this is who you want to use or if you want to go and get your own. But that's all a process down the line. It's not a process that we would do like right here, like right now.
Okay. And
now what you can do, if they allow you to, is you can call your girlfriend, let her know what's going on, and tell her to work on getting you an attorney.
Yeah.
You can at least do that. But as far as like trying to get an attorney now and having them come in,
we're not going to mess with that right now. When you get to jail,
when he gets over there, he can make phone calls, right?
When he gets to jail.
When he gets to
the.
So he's going to go over there.
Right.
They're going to process him, and then he's going to go down.
Aren't I allowed to call?
To our central cell block.
Okay.
And he'll be down there.
Phones there?
No, they have no phone calls down there.
Okay.
That's why he either has to do it here, or he either has to do it when he gets over. Across the hall. But once he gets down to central cell block, it's no phone calls.
What's across the hall?
Just where it's our housing, where they just house them until they're transported down to central cell block.
And they have phones there? Okay, so he can make a phone call there. He can call his girlfriend there.
Okay.
I mean, they're asking, can I make a phone call?
You will be able to, yes.
So today I'll be able to make a phone call.
You'll be able to call your girlfriend. Once you walk your cross, before we put you back in the cell, we'll let you call.
Will I be able to see my cell phone to get the phone number?
No.
Who memorizes numbers?
Okay. I memorize my husband's number. Most important numbers I do remember.
Okay.
Everybody's different, right? So you don't remember it?
I mean, I think I might be able to remember it. I might have to give it a couple attempts just to make sure. Okay.
We're ready? Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Good Lord. You remember Jeff, don't you? Okie dokie. Well, first of all, I guess you called me and you said that you wanted to come by and talk or so forth. So here we are.
Here we are.
Go ahead.
Well, basically it's me. I haven't really had much contact with you guys. I was just wondering if what I should be doing, or if there's, like, where things stand?
Well, we followed, a number of leads, in reference to the revelation some time ago, I guess towards the end of last summer, where we found some material, DNA material, that looked like it was from someone else. Which, and as you know, we were focusing pretty strongly on your father at that point in time.
Right.
Given the facts and circumstances of the cases, we knew them at that time. And of course, when that came out, then we began to spread that out, because obviously there was someone else there or within the residence. In the course of that investigation, we haven't found a thing that would tie it. We've done a number of interviews with people who do burglaries, things like that, home invasion things, because if your dad's not involved in this, it's got to be someone that would have a reason to be in the house or something like that. It wasn't an invited guest or something. There's a number of scenarios we can play with, but that's basically what we're left with. The result of that has been pretty negative.
Right.
We've also, spoken with people in the neighborhood. We've checked the area. We've checked neighboring jurisdictions for similar kinds of cases. And there just hasn't been anything out there that really is significant that makes us look at someone saying.
Right.
We discussed, I think maybe Jim discussed with you about the possibility of Leslie having a boyfriend, a paramour, lover, whatever, unknown to us or to anyone in the family.
Right.
We've followed that about as far as we can follow it.
Right.
And we've talked to friends, acquaintances going back 10 years to
I
her
know you went to Trumbull Crow.
to work at Trumbull and Crow. We've talked to Chris Roth. We've talked to a number of her friends there. And did interviews with them, and nobody has been able to provide us with any inkling. And I think the gist of what you had indicated to Jim was that she had confided in you at some time, the year prior to her death, that she met, or it was someone that she worked with at Trumbull and Crow, and that it occurred on a business trip out west Colorado. And it was just an overnight fling, and that was basically the end of it. Talking with Chris, your mom never made any trips out to Colorado during that time, or any time during her tenure with Trumbull and Crow, as far as he knows. Unless he's not telling us the truth, and he really, I have no reason to believe why he would lie to us.
I mean, I know she went, because she came back with, I know she went. I guess, I don't know if it was only with Trumbull Crow, which would have been odd, but.
When did she, do you know, can we, tie that down, and when she actually went?
So long ago, I was in elementary school that long ago, I was a child, but I know she went on a business trip of some sort, because she came back with, maps from Vail, and I know she went there. I know she was out of the state for just a little bit, but it was a really long time ago. That's what I'm saying. That's the only time she's ever.
Would it have been prior to her employment with Trumbull and Crow?
No, she's never worked anywhere else.
Okay. She left them around 98, right? She'd been with them since...
around 95, when I graduated high school.
Okay.
And she's been with them ever. She was with them when we lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, all the way through 95.
Okay.
Which was my whole life, basically, equivalent of the But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that really has much validity here, because that was just something that was forever ago, and
that's really grasping at straws.
Right, that's what I'm saying. The only reason you even brought it up is because you asked me if she'd ever had an affair of any kind, and that's the only type of situation I could even come close to comparing it to. So that's why I brought it up.
Were there any indications that she had an affair with anyone else in the neighborhood?
Never even mentioned. The only guy that she talked about more than regular, and I told you guys this is that guy Brett from work.
Right.
And they're really, I mean, I don't know, like, what their situation was. I mean, they definitely...
That wasn't positive.
Yeah, it was kind of adversarial.
Yeah.
Well, and because I think the reason was, and I talked with Brett a great deal about this. Brett's been pretty much eliminated DNA-wise,
yeah,
so I mean he's out of the loop as far as we're concerned. There's nothing that we have that would make us think that he was responsible for your mom's death.
Right, and
nor anyone else that she worked with
Okay.
at Specialties Incorporated. We have eliminated all of those people. We've we've just come to a kind of a dead end as far as that's concerned. But Brett, I think Brett's run-ins with your mom were around her, not being punctual, being late. And she was having, I think, some difficulties in self-esteem at work. Felt like she was overqualified for the position that she held, and that she wasn't given her due, I guess, so to speak.
Right, I agree.
And then I think with the alcohol abuse that was going on towards the last few months, it seemed like that, according to Brett, was becoming apparent. Sometimes that she'd come in and they could possibly smell alcohol or things like that. So there was some concerns on both sides. She was feeling almost paranoid, I guess, and that they were picking on her when in fact they probably were a little concerned and maybe thinking of terminating her if things didn't improve.
Right.
I think that was on the grill. I don't think
I
that's
do
a
too.
secret.
No, it's not, and that's right. It's not like a surprise or anything.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lauren? I mean, well, just the whole situation. What it boils down to probably is the fact whoever did this, there are two possibilities. It's someone that your mother knew or a total stranger.
And I don't think it was a total stranger.
Okay.
I definitely think it was somebody she knew. I definitely think that it was somebody who she obviously was comfortable with. I mean, it was obviously somebody she knew. In my opinion, I don't think it was just some random dude like walking down the street. There's no way. I mean, out of all the houses, and maybe, but the likeliness of it and the situation and where her body was found is pretty unlikely that it's just some random guy. It's not like they live in this big house and it's an obvious master bedroom with an obvious, nice bathroom. It's a very obscure bathroom, it's not the kind of thing that, I don't know, in my opinion, I'm just, I don't know, just speculating or whatever, but, I mean, I think it was somebody who had been in the house, maybe, or I think it was somebody she knew, definitely, but as to who it is, of course, my dad it always goes back to him, because it seems like he's, just because of the time frame and everything, it's hard to look past that, but at the same time, it's hard to look at it,
Sure, he's your dad. We understand that, and that's got to be a difficult elephant to ignore that's in the room.
Right, and of course, and ever since from day one, it's not like I've completely denied that, but at the same time, it's just from being with him for a year afterwards, and...
Well, what's the relationship like now?
It's good. It's the same ever since. We always have been pretty much close, but we see each other, if we have time, we see each other once a week, at least once a month. We go out to dinner, go to his house in Virginia. We talk on the phone. I don't know. It's just normal, I guess. And I've asked him, multiple times, did you do this? And he said no, of course, every time. In the store and all this stuff. And he said he couldn't, walk around.
I know it's not easy now.
Over my phone, and the first thing is a box of Kleenex. Well, I know this has got to be, rough on you. And I've lost a parent. I know what you're dealing with. Not under the circumstances under which you lost your mother, which makes it even more difficult, I think.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it's frustrating for us because my gut feeling is that your dad had something to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been a cop too many years.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked too many cases. It is so bizarre to think that this could be someone else.
Well, okay.
And the issues that you know, I think your dad told you, he flunked the polygraph when we talked with him. You know, miserably. I mean, the guy said it was one of the worst failures that he'd seen. It was 100%.
Is that totally abnormal?
Yeah. Because, and everybody thinks, well, he's nervous, he's upset. Mm-hmm. But what they do, any of these polygraph operators, when they do this job, they take into consideration the persons. They get a level of how nervous they are, and then they go from that level. Mm-hmm. In other words, if it's just like every day and it's nothing's happened to you and it's a normal day, you're at this level. Mm-hmm. If you're accused of something and you're a suspect, it's up here. Mm-hmm. So they take that level from there, okay? And so what they do is they ask a bunch of questions of the individual that they know they will answer truthfully.
Right, like their name and their address.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
know,
like that.
is today Tuesday? You know, are you a black male? No, you know, or something like that. Just the questions they would normally respond to, and they would then go ahead and ask those kinds of questions in conjunction with the other questions. Mm-hmm. Those questions being, did you have anything to do with your wife's death? Right. Did you hurt your wife? Mm-hmm. And those are what we call the pertinent questions. And those are the questions that you just went right off the chart. And it shows deception. And this is done by computer. Right. It's as state-of-the-art as it can get. I mean, it's the same kind of machines that are used by the FBI, CIA, everybody else. I mean, it's a very good machine. So we put a lot of faith in it. Even though people can beat the polygraph. Mm-hmm. The old saying is, you can't fool the polygraph, but you can fool the operator.
Mm-hmm. But aren't the polygraphs like can't they not hold up by the court?
They're not upheld in court because people can take certain drugs and so forth and alter their responses and bring their levels. But most good polygraph operators will tell you, with their experience, they think that they can overcome that kind of stuff and they can still see deception and so forth. But not to belabor that point, but that was an issue that of course, you know, bothered us. The issues of the cleanup at the house is just unheard of. People who, even if someone that she knew was a friend with or whatever, would not have a reason to clean up. If they made a mistake, if they got angry, they blew up, whatever precipitated the interaction, people want to flee from that situation. They don't want to hang around because they've got no reason to hang around. They want to get out. They don't want to be associated with that, so they want to flee and get out of there as soon as possible. They don't generally, as a rule, hang around and try to clean up the mess or carry your mother's body all the way upstairs and put it in a bathroom. No reason to do that. No reason to take that risk. Oh my God, look what's happened. I got to get out of here. And they take off. I mean, that's home invasion kind of things, burglaries that go bad, things like where they come up against somebody and, you know, there's a fight or a struggle and they lose it. The manner in which your mom was killed, you know, she was strangled, and you know, she had a lot of blunt force trauma to her head. Depicts a lot of rage, anger, personal rage, anger. Usually not directed at a person who doesn't know that other person. Usually, if it's a murder, it's let's get this person away from me. It's a gun, a knife, something where they don't have direct physical contact because they don't want to do that because they may risk of getting hurt or themselves. So if they've got anything, and even if they did, usually to have the kind of injuries your mom had indicates to us, to investigators, that this is a lot of anger. This is something, this is just
Like a crime
a
of passion.
volcano balloon. It's just going on. And then we look at your dad. Well, he was up to his butt in rattlesnakes at work with getting that day, in fact, the day that he had that big deduction at the office where they were doing a PowerPoint presentation with all the computers, and he was very uptight about making sure that that was ready. He had been planning a couple of days. He had a terrible week, according to what he told us, and also in his email, that everything that could break had broken.
Right.
Murphy's Law was running rampant.
Right.
It was just not a good week for your dad.
Right.
He called it the week from hell.
Yeah.
To quote.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I remember saying that.
We know your dad was having some real issues, as were you, with your mom and her drinking and her increasingly needy behavior, I guess. I think as your dad put it, and whining, and would be asking her or asking your dad, wanting more from your dad when he was in a position in his, that week at least, where that was the last thing he needed. He needed to come home, rest up, chill out, a non-stressful situation, and then go back and have that at work. And I mean, we understand that the kind of jobs we have. We don't like to go home to a whole crap load of problems, at the house after having worked here for 12 or 14 hours. So, it was all in place as far as everybody's feelings. And then the problem that we have, that I have specifically, is your dad saying that, there was a phone call at 9 o'clock. He wasn't sure whether she called him or whether he called her, but he wants to think that she called him. Yet the records don't reflect that.
They don't. Or you check them.
Yeah, we checked all of that stuff. They had one bizarre call early in the morning from it may have been a Terminex, some corporation dealing with pest control. And we tried to track that back. We went to the main company and everything, and they didn't know who made the call. It may have been just one to call, but it was outside of our calling area. It was like an 800 number kind of thing. But
it was made to the house? Or was made
yeah,
from the
it
house?
was made to the house.
How about any calls made from the house?
We didn't have it that we saw.
Well, we can't get those kind of phone records. It's
they're long distance and so forth.
A local phone call won't show up.
A local phone call won't show up because it's not a billable phone call.
So there's no record.
Yeah. And we even tried, on your dad's side to see, and they're on trunk lines and it's the same kind of a thing. But, he says he talks with your mom at 9 and everything is hunky-dory, and then, of course, at 11-ish, a little after 11, that's when Brett calls your dad and says she hasn't shown up for work. We're concerned that she had a doctor's appointment, etc. And that's when Brett came, unbeknownst to your father, because your dad told us that he told Brett, I'll go. You don't need to go to the house. I'll go and check on her. I firmly remember that. But Brett went anyway. And so Brett actually arrived before your dad did, so they went in together.
Right.
And then once they stepped into the foyer, they could see the indications that there had been bleeding on the floor and that there were white marks to it, and everything was dry. It wasn't any wet blood anywhere. And then your dad went all through the house looking for your mom.
Right.
Brett stayed there and then came back, says, I can't find her anywhere. They started calling. Yeah, they called a couple of hospitals to see if she'd gone to a hospital, been injured because of the blood being there. And then he went out, checked some houses, walked up the street, the two side houses, I guess. And Brett, in the meantime, had called the police, and they responded. And of course, then your dad comes out with Brett at the police, asking him to step outside while they checked. And of course, he found your mom right upstairs in the shower. I always had a problem with why your dad didn't find your mom in the shower upstairs.
Well, I mean,
because-
I understand why. I mean, because it's not, it's just a small document that if someone's not standing there, I guess. I don't know. I've never been in that position, but.
Yeah, I that's always possible. I don't know. I just try to, cops, we tend to try to, how would we respond? How would we respond in that same kind of a situation? I even asked my wife, how would you respond, if you came in and found the same situation? Would you look in the bath? Oh, she said she would. Because she made a point. She said, where do you go when you're injured? It's hurt. You go to the bathroom. There's usually, that's where the Band-Aids are, the Curacone, whatever, where you can wash up. But anyway, that always kind of stuck with me. There were some things at the, there was some paper that had dried in the blood.
Me too, right?
Well, it was a flyer of some sort, probably from, you get flyers from Mattress Warehouse and all these little colored ones, and it was one of those kinds of flyers, but it had dried to the point where it had been put into the blood, or blood had been deposited on it, and it went down on the floor in all the other blood that was there. Because the way it looks to me, there was probably a considerable amount of blood on the floor at the time your mom died. And there was a substantial amount of cleanup necessary to get all that blood out. We know as investigators, and also our forensic people know, that blood doesn't dry real fast, depending on circumstances, but in the given rough parameters of your house, where it was not too cold a day, it was a comfortable day. I think it was low humidity, if I recall. It was a beautiful day. I remember I was in my long sleeve shirt upstairs and everything, and I wasn't at all uncomfortable or hot. So it was, I think it was in the high 70s at top, or maybe early 80s. So we would expect, blood to still be wet if she was alive at 9 o'clock.
Even if it was cleaned up though?
Yeah. But the trouble is, the hanger is, this paper laid in wet blood long enough for it to dry. See what I'm saying? It's like you pour coffee down on the table and I'd lay one of these pieces of paper into it.
Right, I understand.
And then you would expect 10, 12, 14 hours for that to dry in any kind of an environment, unless there's a lot of wind blowing through it, which really wasn't in that situation. So, given that, that was one of the things that really caught my eye when I stepped into the house for the first time at about 1:20 in the afternoon. As I looked in and I saw it had actually literally been there long enough to dry to the point where the person who cleaned up picked the paper up, pulled it away, and it ripped and stuck to the floor. That tells me it's just no way in hell it could be there deposited at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And still be, and have had sufficient enough time to dry and be torn up and done away with and deposited somewhere by a perpetrator.
Okay.
So that troubled me. And that was one of the, because initially I thought maybe she fell down the stairs.
Yeah.
Balloon hits the bottom, gets these injuries. She's trying to clean it up because she knows it's a rental house. She doesn't want to have a big mess and have to pay for cleaning up.
Yeah, there's like that big smudge on the wall. There's a lot of blood.
Well, the smudges I'm not aware. I mean, people can fall up against the wall and smudge. That's okay.
Pretty big girl.
Yeah, but I mean, if she had a head injury, and she hits her head and then her head slides down. But after I started looking, it was just too big an area. Plus, of course, when she was examined by the medical doctor, there were a number of different injuries that were not consistent at all with an accident or a fall down the stairs. I initially thought maybe she came upstairs and she had a subdural hematoma. She lost consciousness and went down in the shower. And then but I thought that the way she was in the shower, her position wasn't normal either. Because if you're usually standing in the shower and you lose consciousness, you kind of slide down, you go down on your butt and you're laying back. She was down, on her face, like someone had walked in and placed her in there and then bent her knees up and pushed her into the shower. Plus there was no blood on the bottoms of her feet or anything, so she hadn't walked in any blood.
But wasn't the water? Didn't the water?
Well, possibly, yeah. But usually, there'll be enough that'll remain in the cracks of the toes that you'll see that she's been in.
unless it's purposely sprayed, and her feet were in a position where they were kind of away from where the shower could go, but it could go.
Was her whole body in the shower? Or
yeah, her whole body is in the shower.
Okay.
So those kinds of issues were a problem for us, obviously, and are still a problem for us. There was obviously someone who cleaned up, knew where cleaning utensils were in the house. And another thing that troubled us is whoever did this took everything, all the bloody cleanup materials, rags, paper towels, whatever, and disposed of them. They were nowhere on the premises. They weren't in the trash cans. Very unusual. Again, to think that a stranger or even someone she knows, like a friend, whatever, boyfriend, if you want, at first, goes in and goes to all that trouble and then takes the risk of leaving the house with they had to have it in a big bag, in a plastic bag, and go out and take the chance of being seen. At that time of day, that neighborhood is a beehive of activity. Jim went down the following Tuesday, I guess. Entered around the same time and just sat down there and watched the traffic of people in and out. There's a lot of people getting out of their houses, children, walking dogs. I mean, it's just a lot of people.
I know, I live there. Okay.
Also, we had a lady that was next door that was outside washing her car between about 9:30 to 10:30, somewhere in that neighborhood. The little boy was outside. She was washing her truck.
Still left it.
Yeah, the people right down from you down the hill. She saw nothing, heard nothing. It's a quiet neighborhood, pretty much. I mean, I think if your mom was yelling for help, which I would think she would be, so she probably would have heard it. Plus, we had a Terminex guy that did a service at that house that came and was going around the outside of the next door neighbor's house, to your parents' house, and he heard and saw nothing unusual or anything, and so he leaves, and we've eliminated him as well. We even did this on him.
Okay.
I don't know. Your dad, we felt like talking with your dad, he just, he was obviously traumatized by this. But he also just seemed like he was just holding back.
Really?
And not coming forward. I mean, he was just...
But isn't that, I mean, I'm not... I'm not...
you can be the devil's advocate. I understand. You're his daughter.
No, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying at this point, I mean, I don't... Nothing was surprised. Not nothing was surprising, but I'm at the point where, if my father did it, then I'm ready to deal with that, and that's okay. Not okay, but I'm ready to deal with that. But I'm thinking, isn't it really... And these are just general questions I have for you, just regarding my father. It could be somebody I know or whatever. Or, I mean, just regarding my situation. Isn't it really hard for somebody to work through or fake and not crack under the kind of pressure that street detectives put them on?
It is. It takes a lot of self-discipline.
Yeah.
A lot of intelligence generally. People who are, I think, less intelligent don't do as well under interrogation. Your father's certainly not unintelligent, and he's, is one, I think he's got a substantial amount of self-discipline. Historically he's gotten angry and yelled and so forth, but there haven't been any knockdown drag-outs that we know of between your mother and your dad. And certainly what you've told us, what some of her friends have told us, what Sandy has told us, she certainly put him on the edge a number of times where a lot of people would just
freak out.
Yeah.
Leave her.
Yeah, and just swing out in anger, but he does have that, and generally, so his response to, I remember we talked to him at one time, we felt like it just looked like he wanted to say something, but it was almost like he just shut everything down and pulled back and just said, no, I'm just gonna, and he has just basically maintained that despite the things that we
told him, he indicated that your mom and he slept in the bed all that night before they got up in the morning. I've been a cop long enough to know, and I've looked at plenty of beds and crime scenes. When people sleep in a bed, hairs fall off of your body, they're rumpled, their skin flakes come off. I thought it unusual when I said it was, first of all, the bed was completely made. And your mom could have made it that morning.
Yeah, it's not abnormal at all for them to have it made then.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, wouldn't you...
But the guest bedroom was slept in. There were hairs, we could see hairs in there and so forth. It was turned back. And what I knew that the maid had been in there Monday during the day. Yeah, Monday, because she was supposed to come. Or was it Tuesday? Well, she'd been there the day before. And she'd changed the sheets, the flat sheet, the fitted sheet, everything. So when I pulled the mattress or the comforter back and the bed sheet, there was just nothing there. It would just look like it had just been freshly made. There was no hairs, no body hairs, anything that you would expect to see from two people rolling around sleeping. I mean, I've looked at my bed and after it's been sheet, and I know that that's just a normal process. That we lose hair on our body all the time. Some of us more than others, but that concerned me. The house wasn't really ransacked like a burglar would do going in, but her purse was missing and so forth. Or the wallet and so forth. But I'm also thinking, if I'm going to stage something, I'm going to make it look like somebody broke in and killed her, and I'm going to take this step, because we've never seen any. Usually what happens, almost always, but not always.
Right, it's Carter too.
Yeah, it's, boy, the minute they get out of there, they start firing up that car and use it as fast as they can, because they know they have a limited time where it's going to be shut down.
Right.
There was never any activity on any of that stuff. But then again, if you're just a burglar and you break in and you get rid of it, you don't take the chance of using it. One of the things also that I'm trained in is examining bodies after they've died and what physiological things occur.
Right.
There's lividity. There's rigor mortis, things of that nature. There's a minute your circulation stops, when your heart stops, the body starts deteriorating.
Right. You have a time perspective.
Yeah. You get a rough. It's very rough. It's certainly not the best way to tell time of death, as any medical examiners will tell you, is I got to know when she was alive, and I got to know when she was last seen alive. You're okay? All right, hang on just a second. But anyway, basically, when I examined your mom, it looked to me like she would have been dead longer than that period of time your dad had given us. And she also had, I think, pasta was in the kitchen in a pan where she had pasta. It looked like the night before. and it was at Rigatoni. And it was there was some in the refrigerator. She made a bunch, I guess, and put some in the refrigerator. But there was some of that in her stomach. If she had eaten that the night before, it would have been digested and gone. That's according to the medical examiner. But yet, it was very, very clear to see that it was still in her stomach. Which doesn't tell us a lot because they have to know when she had it. Someone has to say she had it that evening. Then they can give you a time.
And all the time she ate in the morning.
Yeah, and she could have had it in the morning.
Like every day.
Yeah.
So she did it. That was not at home before to wake up and eat like pizza. She made pasta, but she always made a little pasta.
Okay.
So it wasn't abnormal for her to wake up.
And that's what we said. We said that can cut both ways.
Right.
It really doesn't help us at all. But at any rate, not to belabor all this, but these are the things that trouble us.
Right.
And just the very fact that the whole thing, the way it went. I've thought about this a long time, as has Jim. I think if your dad was responsible for this, I think this was something where he just lost it for a millisecond, as so many people do. And in that millisecond that he lost it, something terrible happened that he couldn't change, that he couldn't make better, that he couldn't alter. And then you find yourself in a position of, what do I do now? You're watching your whole life flash before you, basically. You're thinking, oh my God, what's going on? What's everybody going to say? What do I do? It looks like, to me, that he tried, that this, my theory on this, as it were, something happened after he got home that night, 9:15, 9 o'clock, or approximately when he got home. They had some sort of a real argument. He was tensed out, stressed out, he had a hell of a long day. Something happened where the argument occurred, and it got out of control. And what happened, and then he was faced with a situation. What do I do? And then he spends the better part of that evening trying to clean up the mess. But he doesn't have that time, and he has to go to work. So he goes off to work, and I think Brett coming back and being there was something that was unexpected. I don't think he expected Brett to show up.
Well, don't you think it's weird that Brett would just be like, okay, let's go to your house? Like, he wasn't even that good of friends with my parents.
You know what I think? I thought about that. I've had the exact same question. You know what I think? I think Brett was looking for an excuse to fire her. And I think what he wanted to do was go and find her home drunk and just say, this is it.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't really pounded him on that, but I think that's what was in the back of his mind. Because he was angry because he was on her case about this and this tardiness. And I think he was looking for a good, solid excuse to do what he thought he needed to do, and that was ask your mother to leave. And that's my feeling, and it kind of makes sense. And I think did we do a videotape on him, or did we do we did a audio.
As far as the interview?
Yeah.
Audio.
Yeah. I think he kind of inferred to that. We've got it transcribed. I have to go back because it's that thick, but I'm pretty sure that's what he kind of said. But at any rate, I guess what I'm thinking is, I know that you had your suspicions at the beginning.
Of course.
Given what you knew about the interaction, the relationship with your mom and dad, how it had been going, and she'd been acting more and more bizarre. Like, as of late, you said that you all went out to dinner one night, and she started.
She went like nothing. Right. That's yeah.
So, I guess one of the things that we're saying, and to get back to where I was, if this happened, I think your dad just lost it.
Me too. And I think you did about
but for the grace of God, there go we, we all have our breaking points, and we all have our points when everything, stars are just right for us to just lose it.
Right.
And that could have happened with your dad. I think my gut tells me that's what happened, but he just can't bring himself
Right.
to tell us. And the thing about it is, this is not first-degree murder. This is not a second-degree murder. This is spontaneous. It's manslaughter. It's
So horrible.
it's horrible, sure. But you know, we know, and you know, if you read the paper, if you watch the TV, it happens every day across this country and across this world.
Right,
I mean,
that's why
people get angry and lose it, and they don't mean to hurt someone.
Mhm.
They knock them down, they hit their head on the corner of a table, and they die when they only meant to punch them out. But it's still what it is.
Right.
We can't get around that. I can't help but think your dad's going through a living hell right now.
I'm sure.
And as you are as well.
Yeah, I am, but it's more the fact that, of course, I mean,
And it's the
I'm in a
unanswered.
different situation, right? And I also, but I still have like questions that I have for you, and not not for you, but just my general questions that I feel like I'm just wondering, how is it possible? Okay, well, first thing is, like, you said that you found some evidence of another person being there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have any correlation, or do you think it has any correlation to do with the murder, or could that have just been some
Yeah, I think
my
it does.
friend over there like 3 months ago?
No, I think it has something to do with the murder.
But don't you think that's really weird?
Yes. And
I mean,
that's
that
why we are here a year later with nobody under arrest.
But that's like, to me, that's like the most bizarre thing. I mean, not the most bizarre thing, but
I mean, the only thing that I can think of is someone else was there, had interaction with your mother before Sandy arrived home, or was there when Sandy arrived home late at night. There was some interaction between Sandy and that person, and then that person fled, and then he was angry at your mother. I don't know. There's a number of different things that we thought about, and we don't have an answer for it.
my dad wouldn't. I mean, if that, okay, whatever. I'm thinking he would not. If my mom was having an affair, he's not the kind of person that, like, he wasn't like a possessive kind of guy at all. Like, he's like, whatever, it's fine. I mean, he would have been fine, but he wouldn't have, like, gone berserk. I can tell you that much.
Is there anyone that your dad knew, was close friends with, that might do harm to Leslie? And because for your dad or anything like that. I know this sounds kind of bizarre, but we have to look at things from, we can't be tunnel visioned on this. Is there any possibility your dad would have a male friend or a female friend?
I don't know. I mean, my parents are so antisocial. That's another thing I think there. That's another reason why I think it's so weird. There's some kind of evidence that you think actually has some significance in this case, because as far as I know, and like I said, I was over there all the time. I mean, I went to their house 3 times a week minimum. Every single week. And never, my only friends were Gail from work, who she never saw, and they didn't really talk. They weren't really friends. They were just like acquaintances from Sherman Pro, but they moved on and ended up working at the same business. And then her other really good friends don't even live in the state. She never saw anybody. No girlfriend. And my father, I don't know all about it. I don't know if he has any secrets or whatever, but I mean, they never went out ever. That's with another couple. My dad, as far as I know, never had any friends except for when he worked at TTH Contact, like years and years ago.
Yeah.
And Ted, whatever that guy is he lives with now, I mean, I don't know if you talked to him at all. Ted, man, I mean, I can't imagine committing murder, but I mean, he is like, he has his, I mean, I don't think he's weird. He's not like, I don't think he's your normal everyday, really know, like dad or whatever.
You're talking about Ted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, he's not like weird or anything, but he's still not like, I mean, I met more like a dad like people than him. Not that that's anything.
So no one that your dad associated with. Is there any possibility, I know this is an embarrassing question, but I'm going to ask it. Is there a possibility your dad could have been gay?
I don't know.
In the closet?
I have no idea. How would I know that?
I know. I mean, well, you live with them. That's what I'm just saying. I mean, these kind of secrets are kept.
I don't think he was gay. I mean, when I was younger, like, this was like getting, all into like the family, whatever. But I know this isn't like weird. Like, I mean, he had like porno and stuff, but it would be like Playboy and Penthouse and like Hustler and stuff. I mean, so I can't, if he was gay, I think like he'd have like gay porno.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily. I mean,
And I had to
In,
do
the,
that
in,
in
the,
like
in this
years.
kind of situation, there are plenty of people out here, obviously, that are married, have children, and have a secret life.
Right, I know.
You know, and that are gay. And they know they are. They try to keep that life very secretive because obviously it would be terribly hurtful to their wives. They don't want to destroy their families, so they keep this other life and their family life completely separate and distinct, and they live that life when they can. We don't see any, and I don't want to make you, we found some sort of evidence to indicate that, because we have not. But your dad, like you say, your dad doesn't have any hobbies. He doesn't have any good buddies.
And he was, like, he did leave, like, I mean, it wasn't, like, secretive, but he was, like, he always worked all the time, and he worked late. And he was always a worker. When we called, he'd be there, like, you know.
And I mean, he'd come home. I know your mom had, I think you said your mom voiced some off-the-hand concerns that maybe she thought he had a girlfriend or something because he was coming home so late in the evenings when he would get off work normally like at 4 or 5, and he wouldn't show up until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. But I think a lot of that he was just working.
Right, he didn't want to be at home because she was.
And he didn't want to be at home because then he knew he was going to have to deal with her. She'd be, 4 or 5 glasses of wine down her, and she'd be after him or complaining to him or something.
Right.
And it just, he had nowhere to go.
Right.
To hide, to have some peace and quiet, so to speak. That's why he'd go down to the basement and drink beers, and be away from her.
Right.
But it makes it doubly difficult for Jim and I because their social activities that were just
nothing.
I mean,
when you guys were younger, or when you were younger, did they have more friends and socialize more, or?
Yeah, I mean, they're, like I was saying, they're really good friends. Teddy and Gibran, as you know, live in Ella, Indiana now, but and then Jodelle and her husband Al live in Dallas, Houston. They're really good friends that they used to socialize with. Most of the time moved away, strangely. And yeah, so when I was younger, they had friends here, and
those were the ones I went to the beach with at Dewey Beach.
Yeah. And I mean, out of anybody, Debbie's the one who could tell you the most, and I'm sure you had to talk to her extensively. But yeah, when I was younger, they did socialize more, but they had their friends were here, I don't know, but in the past couple of years, they never really socialized at all. I mean, they went to a couple of cocktail parties, but never really clicked with anybody. Like, they were just really, like, on the same level. So yeah, but only under those circumstances did we move away. But nothing like, they weren't ever really outgoing, like, let's go out, just me and you, and go to like 50 years. I mean, just rarely would that happen,
Yeah, we've looked at, at their checking account and their credit, and they're not going out to dinner a lot.
No, they just stayed home and drank, like, and fingernails alcohol, and probably had a pretty sad life, but at least my mom did. But that's it. That's why I don't really have much to draw on in terms of, like, people to talk to, except for those 2 friends I mentioned. That's not,
What thoughts do you have as far as, like, what happened?
I'm perplexed. I honestly, truly, to God, I mean, of course, I'm not stupid. I'm 24. I'm not, seeing, like, I've heard stories like we were talking about that people can just snap, and then the time frame, the situation, the house, like, so those kind of things don't put me at ease of saying I know for a fact my dad's innocent. Not because I think he did it, but because no matter who it was, if it was like my friend's boyfriend, do you know what I mean? The relation, I put my relationship aside, and I looked at it, just the situation, saying that person isn't 100% innocent. And then there's the other side that couldn't be, or whatever, you know what I mean? Okay. And then the other side is like, it's my father, and I've seen him, my whole entire life. I've seen him interact with my mom. I've seen him deal with her. It was nothing new. And my dad was never a violent person, ever. He was so loving to, like, our animals, and he always took care of my stupid fish, and he never even pushed him down the toilet. Like, we buried the hamsters in the backyard, like, made a, like, grave for them, like, he had such a warm heart, and so many he wasn't, even though when I was younger he did have like a yelling streak, and that's because he was just so overworked. And he didn't do that my whole entire like junior high school. He never ever physically harmed an animal. He never hit me. He never hit my mom ever, at her worst. I mean, seriously. And she put him in the worst positions, and it was just hard for me to just imagine him, like, first of all, kill her by the front door, which doesn't make any sense. Second of all, just snap that one night. He's not that type of person. Like, I mean, he's never done anything like before. He would just usually just be like, fuck off or whatever, and I'm leaving, and he would get in the car and go. Stay at a house, like, he wouldn't. My mother never could get my dad to the point to where he was so mad, like, he wanted to, like, physically touch her. Ever. And so and then, just, I know he cared about her, and I can't imagine my father, like, I just can't imagine him, like, actually, like, murdering her and staring at her face, like, while she died in his hands, like, that just totally seems impossible to me, and to him, and to his sister. I mean, he just doesn't have, like, that. I mean, it's like, okay, you could get to a point where, like, you're striking somebody, or you're even punching somebody, but as a human, you hit a point where if you do one step further, that person's gone. And it takes a really insane person to just take that next step, besides, like, beating somebody to a pulp or just driving to almost being dead. I mean, that part of it just seems, and him, like, taking her body, and going to work. No way. My dad is not, he is a strong person, but he is emotional. I've seen him cry. Like, I think he drove over a bridge before he left for work with my mom dead in Charlotte. I really do. I think that it would be I just don't believe that could happen. And of course, I mean, I don't believe it could happen. I just have never seen that side of him, and I don't think that and as the kind of person he is, I don't think he would just live the rest of his life as a lie and look me in my eyes and, like, I just have a really hard time coming to grips with that situation. And then, I mean, and my other point, like, the other part of it, if it was somebody else and not my dad, is that I think it was, I don't know, that our neighbor, have you guys talked to our neighbor Ed? Diane's husband?
Next door?
Yeah, the dark-haired guy. Did you guys take his DNA? Or swab him at all?
I believe, if memory serves me, believe me, we got 2 boxes of case files, so it's hard for us to keep all this normal. We have to go back and look.
Right.
I believe he was out of town that weekend, that Monday, Tuesday.
Was it the gray house on the white,
no,
facing your house?
The one.
Yeah, as you're facing our house.
The one on the right is you're facing at the gray house.
Yeah.
With the swimming pool in the back.
Yeah.
Right. I think he was out of town. I'll double check on that.
Because
I'm pretty sure he was out of town, because that's why the babysitter was there and everything. Because they had a lady that was taking care of the kid and over. Well, she's in her early 60s.
I remember.
She's the one that was washing the car out front during the morning that we found your mom next door. Because wasn't your little lady's name? I can't think of her name. Yeah, she had to go out or something. She went out to shop or something, and they had the woman there taking care of the child. So the husband had been there.
What makes you bring up his name?
Don't think I'm crazy, but my aunt actually called me, and, like, she was really, like, spiritual and stuff, and she had a dream. She had just told me to, like, ask you guys. She had a dream about. She never actually met the neighbor, but she described the dream, and this man about a basement, and, like, with 2 children and a wife. It was neat, and I know she had a very detailed dream, and it sounded like exactly like our next door neighbor's house. And that's the only reason. I mean, and the fact that I told you that Ed had made, like, a pass at me, and he kind of, like, he had kind of done stuff that, like, kind of made a pass on my mom, like, and looked at her kind of, like, real, like, I don't know, like, how do you say, like, hooked her up and down, like, real, like, sexually, I guess you can say.
No, I wasn't aware of that. If you had mentioned it,
that's the first time I've heard that. May have thought you told us, but we would remember something like that. Trust me.
I'm sure I told you about that. Maybe not.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't sexual, but it was, he made like, I'm sure I told you, but you guys probably were like, whatever, but, he made two, like, kind of like around the bush kind of passes. Like, he was like, he had to about want to go running with him, but he was doing all the time, and he had to, like, a couple of times, and I'm like, you're like 50 years old, I'm not gonna go running with you, and another time was like when I was moving in with Scott, he was like, oh, too bad, we're gonna miss you, and he was like, if you give, Gabriel a phone number, maybe he'll call you, and his friend, 2 years old.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that, and I know that he had like done, like looked at my mom a little weird, and kind of made like the kind of like underlining patterns too.
Anybody behind your house has had any interaction that people that live behind you, on the behind your house?
I mean, no, the only like I said, like you guys know, a long time ago, the only thing that ever happened is that time that somebody like kind of like broke in.
Yeah,
that was.
You thought it was one of your friends.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that never associated us with the back.
Yeah, we checked the history of your residence for
Yeah.
anything back
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's all we had was that one thing that you'd mentioned to us before, that it was, they went in and messed up your room. And
Yeah, I don't think that had anything to do with what happened with my mom, of course. But and no, our neighbors behind no.
and there's nobody else in the neighborhood that your mom interacted with, a male or anything like that.
No, the only other person that I even had one thought about was it turns like a Jen working there that lived on.
Yeah, I've got that.
Because he was really weird too. But that's it. I mean, everybody else in the neighborhood is like real. Right? I mean,
I'm going to ask you an upfront question here.
Go ahead.
Because these are some things that just gnaw at me, and they're unresolved as the same thing goes through your mind.
Mm-hmm. You can ask me whatever you want.
I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and what got me to thinking was the day that that you asked your dad. In fact, the first day, did you hurt Mom or did you
Mm-hmm.
do this? If your dad had told you, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel terrible. And I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose you speaking like I'm speaking to you as your dad. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to ruin my life. I can't do anything about this. Your mom's gone. What do I do? If I tell the police that I did this, I'm going to jail. I don't know for how long. And then you'll lose me and you'll lose your mom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether I want to do that to you. Can we just try to get through this? I don't know. I'm a policeman. I have to think like that. I'm sorry.
No.
It's hurtful to you, I'm sure.
No, it's not.
Because it attacks your veracity, your truthfulness. But people do lie to us.
Right.
And that's a given.
I mean,
and there's a lot of dynamics going on in your family here.
Mm-hmm.
And people think with their hearts and with their minds, but sometimes more with their hearts. And I can understand a decision like that being
never would
agreed upon. Okay.
I mean, initially, let me just say, if it was like the first day or the first week or even the first month, or even now, if he said it, my initial reaction would be like beyond frightening, scared, sick. Okay, I would be like, he's gonna kill me, like that's it. If you can kill one person, I think you can kill another.
Well, no, I don't think that's it. See, don't.
Well, wait, let me finish. And then I was like, so initially I would be like, shit, this is really scary, and I'd try to like to say like, okay, I'll agree with it, but I never would I do it for a long period. I mean, never, ever would I live like that. And I think if my father killed my mom, I have no. I mean, of course I have a problem with it, but I don't want him or anybody who ever was like walking the street. And I don't. And if he did kill her, then he deserves to
even though
pay the consequences.
Even though he would have done this, just losing his temper for a second.
Yeah.
He's got to be culpable for that for the rest of his life.
I don't know.
Wouldn't want you on my jury.
I mean, that isn't. I don't care. I mean, you have to be a sick person. I don't care how.
What's
like
the forgiveness?
Forgiveness for what? For killing my mom?
For just losing it. I mean, I have been in police situations where I've lost my temper with people.
Mm-hmm.
And just literally wanted to pound them to death.
Right.
And I had people around, I was able to control myself. But we all get in positions in our lifetime, and you will. You're 24 years of age now. There will come times in your life, especially if you have children. Jim and I can both speak of that. I mean, there are times when your kids get you so angry that you just want to grab them.
Right.
And and you have the self-control to pull back and move away. That's why we get so many child abuses and so many kids beaten, and because people snap. And I spent some years in youth division before I came to homicide, and I talked to parents who were just like me, middle class, college educated, good people, that just smacked their kid clear across the room. Just lost it to that millisecond. And if they could take it back, they would take it back. But they couldn't. It didn't mean that they were terrible parents, that they were bad. They reached a point where at one point in their time that they just lost control. And they got it right back, but it was too late. And that's what I think, if your dad, and I'm saying it, your dad was responsible, that's what happened here. Your dad was a strong man, capable of putting up with a lot of bullshit. Obviously, his job was all over him. He was having difficulties with Leslie and her drinking, and it was concerning him. He told that to us, that he was just at his wit's end with her. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know whether to get her committed or what. You know, he had a lot of weight on his shoulders, emotionally and physically. He was running himself down. Wasn't eating well. All these things all spiral into one point. And that's what I'm saying. I understand what you say, but don't be so hard on this man. Because if this happened, like I said, you know, it's just there, but by the grace of God go many of us out here in society. Because we're lucky. We hit somebody and they go down and they just get a bruise or a black eye.
I'm not saying that I would want like him to go to have a death penalty or be in jail.
This is not a death penalty situation.
Either way, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, if he committed this murder at some point, I could not relate, but I could understand how he got pushed to that point.
Could you forgive him?
Of course. No matter what. I mean, what's the word? I just like flipping my head. The word, it's like unconditional love is my father, no matter what.
Exactly.
And I would never, of course, it would be more of like, not that I would forgive him, it would be more of working through it. And the thing is, like, not that I would understand, but I can't imagine him committing murder, but I can see where, if it did happen, that he would push to that point. And so it's not like he just went out with it, like a gun and shot like 500 people off his building. If he did it. But I'm just saying, what I'm saying is, like, of course I would forgive him. I don't want him to have the death penalty, but in no way, and I wouldn't want his life to be in jail, and it would be hard for me to see him there, and it would be hard for me to be a citizen with you at a father who murdered your mother. I mean, I don't like a spectacle, you know. I'm abnormal would be abnormal because of that, but I mean, I still wouldn't lie for the rest of my life for him.
I understand it, but I just had to ask that question, you know, and it's something like this. I don't know what the state's attorney's office would say, you know, as far as prosecuting your father, if he were to come forward to us and say, look, I can't do this anymore. This is what happened. But it certainly wouldn't put him in jail for the rest of his life, I guarantee you. And I would not be a supporter of that, nor would Jim, I don't think. You know, but we almost are all like family here because we're so deeply interwoven into your family. We just like to see this come to some sort of a conclusion, and so that we can start building and putting our lives back together, specifically you and your dad and everything. And if anything comes to our attention that would lead us to believe that your dad had nothing to do with it, believe me, we would be the first ones to let him know and let you know and everything else. But as I've explained to you, I think, in the past here, you know, what my concerns are about this and how I feel about this and how it just, when we look at it in an overall picture, it's a domestic violence kind of an issue. It's not a breaking and entering, anything like that. You made a particular comment to someone at the funeral. You said, someday I'm going to write a book about how my father killed my mother and how my mother killed my father. What did you mean by that?
If it happened, like I was saying, I would understand. Like, it was just good at stuff like that. I was good at like being a child and stuff, but it wasn't the funeral. It was at the hotel room with my aunt.
Okay.
I was just saying, if this happened, then this is how I would see it from my perspective. Like, I mean, of course that's like so bad and it could be like so like used against me in court or whatever, but I mean, that's exactly how I meant it. If he did kill her, then I think that would have been a sequence of events. That he broke her down, she would have broken him down to the point of to the core, and then he couldn't take anymore. So that was what I meant by that. I didn't mean like, that's all I meant by it.
Okay. Do you get any kind of a feeling that he's just taking you out of the loop and he's just not going to tell you what happened? Protect you from any further hurt?
I don't know. Like I said, like I told you, I've asked him, I think, definitely twice. Only after 2 times. Did you do it? Did you kill my mom? And both times his response was exactly the same. And the first time was when we were at the house and we were cleaning up, just like getting everything out of there. We were in the backyard, and I was like, I hate to ask you this, but I have to ask you. And he said, I'm only going to answer this one time. And he said, I didn't have anything to do with it in no way, shape, or form. Did I have anything to do with the demise of your mom? That was that. Then, time went on, whatever, and then when he moved to a house in Virginia, I asked him, this is probably, a long time ago, but not, like, maybe 7 months ago, I don't know, time is, like, so weird right now, but, we were in his car, and I was like, and I asked him the same question. I was like, and he told me never ask you, but I have to know, because it's getting me again, and he said the same thing, like I told you before. As a man and as your father and as your mom's husband, could I live with myself for the rest of my life knowing that I committed this crime and in no way, shape, or form did I have anything to do with it, demise of your mom? Okay.
Did he say that just kind of matter-of-factly, or was it emotional?
Well, the first time, it was emotional, but it was matter-of-factly, it was very, like, it was stated, I want you to understand this. It was also, like, I don't know. It was both, he said it, but he wasn't, like, crying and breaking down, and he never said, like, I can't believe you think something like this about me, He's like, I understand. He's like, if I was on the outside looking in and I was looking at this crime too, he's like, I understand that people have doubt. And he said there's only 3 people, well, one's dead, or he said there's only 2 people in this world that know what really happened. The person that did it, who's walking around, and me. And he's like, that's it.
What do you mean? There's only 2 people that know
what really happened.
Him, your dad, and the person who did it.
it.
How would your dad know what happened?
That he didn't do it.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Right.
Oh, okay.
That he said that whoever it is did it, and that the only person in the world that could prove his innocence 100% guarantee, or I don't know what all he said is that there's only 2 people in this world that know what really happened, me, and I didn't do it, and the person who's walking around who did it.
Did he ever share with you any of his suspicions, or?
Well, we both gone over the same scenario.
And what we've already talked about.
No, Brett, we ruled that out a long time ago, and then that somebody was in my neighborhood, like Ed or Sunday. We talked about Ed a little bit, because he kind of like did those little things, but just the time frame, and then that's it. No, just the same stuff that we've always gone over, and that's it. And he brought up, like, that's another thing, like, he brought up so many, like, all the different names I told you, like, about the guy their old college friend that contacted him, and just everything. He brought up, like, every possible situation.
Maybe I've forgotten. I don't recall
something that small college for.
I forgot his name. I know I heard you guys. It was nothing. It was.
I haven't notes.
Yeah. It was. I don't think it was anything like.
But this is your dad speculating as to.
He basically covered all possible, and as well as I did, aspects of who it could have been. Anybody that he's been in contact recently, or he just brought it in because it's somebody he had called or contacted the family. And it's been like 9 years or something, a long time since we talked to them. So I don't know. He brought that person up. And that's it. I mean, just that, and nothing really.
Has he ever just really broken down and talked about all this?
Broken down like.
Emotionally crying.
Yeah.
Sobbing.
No, not sobbing, but cried. I mean, definitely extreme cry, of course. About it, never stopped. I mean, I think that he wouldn't do that then. Just like I'm really like reluctant to like break down and freak out in front of him. I mean, I've cried definitely, but it's hard. Like, I don't think he would do that to me because he thinks. I mean, I think he thinks if I feel like he's gonna do like that, then I'm gonna be like 5 times worse with you. So I think he's trying to like hold up like a. I mean, he's definitely broken down. We definitely had hard talk. I mean, definitely seen him cry, but never like an all-out emotional like.
Heartfelt talks about.
Just how we both feel and how I feel and just sadness and like he misses her and that's it. But he's never just like totally like exploded. I mean, I guess he has actually. I mean, definitely seen him break down. I mean, yeah, he's crying a lot. Not a lot. I've seen him like break down, but I don't know. I think like freak down. I think like women's sadness, which he's never done that. But I mean, he's like definitely like put his hand in his face and just like wail, like cry. Yeah.
Okay. How about you? Have you been able to deal with this very well? Have you gotten any help for anything like that?
Yeah, I went to my therapy for a little bit, and that was fine at the beginning. And had like all that severe anxiety attacks, and I drank, and I got a GDVI, so that was the cause I was in it. And so I don't know how I'm dealing with it. I just kind of am. I mean, of course I've had my days where I'm just like so sad. I mean, really, really sad, obviously. I mean, but I feel like I just have to, I just feel like I can't just let this go, and I really want to like try to somehow get some answers, and so that's why I called you, and obviously I'm thinking about it because it's been a year, and it's been like, it's such a fast year, I can't believe it, but I mean, yeah, I'm dealing with it, but it's emotionally disturbing and sad.
Well, we wish that we had more answers that we could give you to get it resolved.
And I've told you everything that I know. I swear on my life, and I would not keep anything from you. My parents that were having weird things, that having an affair, or my dad told me anything that would make me think something, I would tell you.
Well, that's why I brought that possibility of a gay relationship or something, because if he had some male friend, you get into the brother's triangle kind of a thing where one eliminates the other so that they can have that happens a lot, in life in general, where another man might go in and kill him.
Okay, can I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Okay. One thing I always thought about, this is just something I thought about, was, did you guys, just because, okay, one, I think it's like really, really strange, really, really weird that this massive murder crime scene going on inside the house and not one shred of evidence is turning up anything except for what you told me, except for that weird, like, third mysterious person that who knows what that is. And then nothing was on my mom. And if it was my father, isn't there like something? I mean, he's not like he's ever committed a crime before. He's not a mastermind or whoever it is. I just don't understand. There could be no or I guess I'm thinking if it was him, how could there be no evidence on her, on him,
Well,
on no physical
When you
wound
talk
on
about
him?
evidence, I assume you're talking about like fingerprints and things like
Yeah, or
that.
skin or hair or.
See, the problem is we can expect to find skin, flakes, hair, DNA material that match your father everywhere in that house because he lived there.
Right.
And that's the problem. We're looking for something that doesn't match with the people that stay in that house. And that's what we just didn't have. Your mother had had the shower rod that washed away a lot of things that made it impossible for us. But they weren't really things that we would really have needed anyway, I don't think. And all we had other than that was blood, and most of which was your mom.
None of my dad's blood was found?
No.
And nothing on her body, like under her fingernails?
Well, I can't get too far into this, to tell you what we got or what we had found because it's just inappropriate for us to do that. At any stage in the investigation when it's still under active investigation, because we tell you it could end up with somebody else and somebody else. So, but suffice it to say, we turned that house upside down, backwards, forwards, left and right before we released it. We held on to it for a good week. And we just don't have anything.
Okay. Can you tell me, and I don't know if you can tell me this either, if there was any kind of sexual assault at all? Or can you explain that?
I don't see any problems with that.
Okay. No.
Okay.
And again, that's what makes us wonder, again.
That was just obvious.
That's a motivating factor for sometimes for B&E and things like that, or you try to rape a woman or something.
Right.
They didn't do that to your mom.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing was...
Should have written it all down.
I know, I have so many
When
questions.
you get older, you'll do that.
I can't remember. The other thing was, another thing that was the fact that, like, whoever was, if it was my father, packed up all the evidence. I mean, not all of it, all the bloody things, all the bottles, etc., whatever it was, and put them in, obviously, to transport them. And isn't that strange that there was not one, or as far as I know, or what you guys told me, nothing in the car? Not one.
Yeah, well, we thought about that too. Obviously, if we're going to go to the scenario that your father was responsible, we cleaned up everything, put it all in a big plastic trash bag, probably put it in the trunk or the back seat of the car, and then could have left during the middle of the night, all this, or could have put it all in the car before it got bright and dark and people were out, and then left for work. And on the way to work, just pitch it in a Dempsey dumpster somewhere and go on to work. I mean, there's a number of shopping centers, malls, places.
Right.
That's and we checked your dad's car. And if you put it in a plastic bag and it doesn't leak, there's no transfer of any evidence into your father's car. So there's no indication of that.
Okay. Next thing was this is a weird question. I just thought about it because I thought about all the ways to just dispose of stuff in the house, including if it was my dad, was the fireplace. You just check the fireplace, and in the bottom of the fireplace there's like a piece you can remove and sleeve everything underneath the house. I mean, I know you find nothing in that fire-ridden ashes, but I just thought about that, like, strange.
I don't know. I can't answer that question because we have different. We're the investigators, and then we have forensic technicians that do the actual crime scene work. We say this is what we need to look for: hairs, fibers, blood, and then go looking. But no, to answer your question, I don't think there's anything came as a result of that.
Okay.
We'll check on that though.
Okay. My question was in the bedroom. If she would wasn't there very little blood on the bedroom floor and none on the bed at all? And I don't know why that would be. I guess the only reason that to me that was weird is that there was blood dripped up the stairs, and then it just kind of stopped.
Probably Scott won't know where you are.
Hello. Hello. Okay. Do you mind if I hold that?
Sure.
No.
You want some privacy?
No.
Time fine.
That's why he's calling pregnant.
I don't know what's going to get out in here or not.
What?
Go at the phone when I get out in here.
One.
You want to try it on the cell lines?
I just wait. I don't know if I have anything else anyway. So the fire thing, the evidence, like.
Yeah, there was very little blood upstairs.
Yeah, and isn't that weird?
But the thought was that the cleanup began upstairs and moved backwards. Plus, the bleeding injuries to your mom were in her head. And if you pick somebody up this way, carry them like this, which would be probably the easiest way to do it, you wouldn't expect a lot of bleeding because then the gravitational is just in the clothing and on her and not so much onto the floor. By then, and by the time the body is moved, most of the bleeding is probably stopped because bleeding occurs because of circulation. When circulation stops, the blood doesn't react except gravitational.
Okay. And then the last question is just, and of course you are not the right answer this, is just that, I mean, at this point it's been a year and, now that it's been almost a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
And at this point, nothing's really changed. And if things don't change, it's just, it's going to be from.
Can't say that. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we will continue to investigate this case until there's nothing more to investigate.
And what if there's nothing else left to investigate?
There are times in any kind of a homicide case where it gets to the point where there's no evidence and it's basically put on a holding pattern until things come in. I'm investigating a case that happened on March 25th, 1975. I'm going to go out next week and do some interviews on that. That's how long they go. They will go. When Jim and I leave, someone will step in and take our place, and it will continue to be investigated anytime. We have some lines out there that could get a hit, and tomorrow phone would ring and we say, we've got something, or that's just the way the nature of these crimes are. We're not going to give up.
Mm-hmm.
There's no intentions of it. And as I said, if your dad's responsible or knows more than, or has not been truthful with us and telling us the circumstances, I just hope that you have some influence to let us put this thing to rest. We're not here to hurt your dad. That's the last thing you want to do, because I think both Jim and I agree that this was not something that happened planned. It was not plotted. This is something that just happens to people of everyday walks of life. Movie stars, everything. I mean, it just happens. Where none of us are insulated from it. We all have points in our life where we're just a terrible bad day, and it just gets worse and worse, And but the troubling things, that we talked about tonight, that I expressed to you, that I just can't get out of the back of my head, and until those things can all be satisfied, in my thoughts and in Jim's thoughts, we can't just walk away from your dad and say, well, he's just not involved. You can't.
I know, I understand.
And we're both on the same page on that. All this. I just don't know.
Do you think that
If I was your dad, I could maybe lie to you.
Do you think what?
And so do you think I'm in any danger if it was my father?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You would be the last person he would harm.
Or anybody. I mean, I don't know. Is it possible somebody can do that and that's it?
Yeah.
The rest of their lives, never hurt anybody else?
Absolutely, it's possible. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I mean, you know, people that lead pristine, good, law-abiding lives all their lives and lose it. You know, somebody grabs their kid or something or hits their kid and they just lose it for a second and just go off. And when they regain their composure, what they've done is what they've done. That's the situation that I see your father being in. If what I feel is, but I don't think you're in any harm. He would not, you know, you're the last of his family. Why in God's name would he ever hurt you? It's just, he's not that kind of a guy. I don't read your dad as being that kind of a guy. He's a good man. He comes from a good stock, good family. I mean, he just could have been in an awful, terrible situation for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's either got to deal with it, but, you know, I always think and Bill Clinton sitting there, you know, to the nation. Not, you know, just a straight-faced. So, I mean,
is there anything?
It's an issue. I wish I could tell you, you know, your dad's not involved.
Mm-hmm. I know.
I wish I could.
I know. I mean, I didn't think you were going
I'd be untrue to you and untrue to myself and untrue to Jim and in this department in the state of Maryland if I did something like that, because I have to go with the training that I have, my instincts, as does Jim. It's just awful. There's just nothing good about this. But I'm in just hopes that, like I said, if your dad's involved in this in some way, shape, or form, that he feels confident in us that we are not, it is not our intent to throw him in jail and throw away the key. That is not what I think. This case deserves, if anything else, compassion and understanding about people and human nature and what happens. We investigate cases where people are just mean, nasty. They should be in jail. They should be kept away from everybody for the rest of their life because they are just mean people. And they don't care. They don't have any conscience about who they hurt. And those people, we have no problems going after them hammer and sickle as hard as we can, because we know we need to put them in jail for the rest of their lives so they can't hurt anybody else, so there won't be another victim down the line. Your father's not that kind of a person. He's not one of those people.
Is there anything that you can, like, this is like kind of a weird question for me to ask you, but is there anything that I can do to, like, I mean, I'm not like a psychiatrist, and I can only ask him, like, straightforward, did you do it? And sometimes I'm like, I try to, like, read him and, like, read his personality and stuff, but I mean, is that all I mean, I guess that's all I can do. I mean, I can't, like...
Well, it's...
The contact that you have with him so far, okay?
Yeah.
What kind of read do you have on it?
My read on it is real honesty and truthful. I don't get it. I'm really good at, like, catching vibes from people and, like, sensing things out, and if they're lying, and I've looked him, like, dead deep in his eyes. I've, like, tried to feel what he's saying to me when we're out to dinner and listen to every word intently, even, like, a little, just something that just doesn't sound right, and I don't get any weird, suspicious feelings. But it's also, I'm his daughter, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could just not, my body just could not be letting me respond to that. But I've tried, you know, I mean, like I said, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't know, like, trained at that, but I mean, the sense that I get from him is that there's a lot, I mean, he's I don't know. I think he's sad and like perplexed, like what's going on. I don't understand. I know he's like really depressed. He walks around with a lot of like, stomach poison and not. Just sad. I mean, I think he's just surrounded by sadness, but I don't get a guilty feeling at all.
Is he drinking more?
No, I mean, like when it first happened. No, I mean, he was, for a very short period of time, he was drinking, like, when we would go out to dinner, he would drink, like, whatever Jim, like, whiskey or something, only for a little bit, and then after, like, just a couple of times of, him doing that now, he drinks beer. I mean, but not, like, excessive, as far as I know, excessive amounts, and he works a lot, and, like, he always has, and he takes really good care. My grandfather passed away, and he inherited the dog and stuff, and the dog's still awesome, and he takes it to class, and will be in school, but I mean, of course he drinks. He drinks, but not like intoxicating drunk. Not all the time.
I guess that's what we're asking: is he wrestling with any kind of demons of, of guilt, of remorse? I mean,
I don't.
It's difficult to. I understand because none of us are psychiatrists here to say this behavior is because of guilt and remorse for what he did. This behavior is because of sadness and grief. They are so much alike.
I don't feel guilt and suspicion and him hiding things at all. Not even a nip. And he even said, like, I think we both need to go to therapy together. Like, I know this is really hard for you, and I'll pay for everything. Just, we can find a good therapist to go to, and I know you probably want me to go with you or something. Like, just, he offered for us to go see a therapist together, because I was seeing one for a little bit by myself, and then, then I don't know. I asked him, like, how are you dealing with this thing? You understand how you can just. These are the kind of things that make me think, and I'm like, how can you just go on your everyday life and this isn't like eating you up, and why don't you want to be, like, why don't you need therapy and stuff? And he's like, well, I just feel like, he's like, I'm just dealing with it, and he's like, I have my really, like, sad times, but I don't know, supposed to, I know, but he did, like, ask me, he said he would go to a therapist with me if I wanted to go. I don't know what you think about that. So, that's it.
Yeah, just, there's some sort of an answer somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We just all wish we had it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad we had an opportunity, to get together. Yeah. I'm sorry this took so long, but
no, it's okay.
But I wanted, I felt like of course, your dad doesn't contact us.
Right.
I guess because his attorney has told him not to contact her.
Oh, yeah.
But,
did he say anything about that?
No.
About wanting to talk to us or anything like that?
No, he said that he, like, because, what did he say? No, he doesn't really feel like he needs to call you because he feels like it. I guess he said because you guys, like, were so, like, I don't know, yeah, in the beginning that
we weren't
I know, of course, and he said that putting himself, he doesn't really know what he would really get out of you guys. It's not like him calling and being like, if he found any leads, like, it'd be more like, I don't think he feels like he's going to benefit from calling you guys and really get any answers, because he knows that he's still, his lawyer told him that, what you, like, when they came to get the papers, that, he was still, like, the number one person.
Yeah. We can't walk away from that.
No, I understand, and I don't want you to walk away from it unless they're...
Yeah, and believe me, nothing would make Jimmy and I happier is to be able to find someone else that did this. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, we would take your dad out to Christie's, and, we really would. Because I just wish that's the way it would go, but I don't know.
All we want to do is find out the truth.
And there's you. And you can't, I just don't, if your dad's involved in this, I don't know how he can hides the knowledge that he does. But I know if you've got something like that inside you, it's like a time bomb.
Yeah,
you need to get it out. You need to talk about it. You need to move. That's nature of human beings. They just don't deal well. Criminals, people who live lives of crime, they can do that kind of stuff. They have rationalizations for it. They don't care. They really don't. I mean, they don't have the morals, the values, the mores ticking inside their hearts and their minds that people like us do, and that's why so many husbands who have affairs end up telling their wives, because they cannot live with that lie inside them. And people who are decent people and do something bad, it works on them. It eats on them like a cancer, and they need to, and it'll kill them. I mean, it just eats you up. You can't come to some reasonable, and the confession is good for the soul, but it's a tired axiom, but it's true. You feel better getting it all out, and I just think, if he's worried about down the line, prison time and stuff like that, I don't think that's an issue that I think I don't know, but I guarantee you Jim and I both would fight for, the least amount of time. I'm going to tell you that just truthfully. Because I do not believe in my heart, after a year in this investigation, that if your dad did this, that he did this out of malice aforethought, out of anger towards your mother and hate towards your mother. It was just a terrible, awful accident. It's like having a few drinks and going down here and you run into somebody on the highway and you kill them. You have no intent of ever doing that. But you were irresponsible, and you drank too much, and you went over the center line and you killed on someone else. That happens. We all read about it. But it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a terrible person. It just makes you a person who did something irresponsible for a short period of time, and it caught up with you. This time you paid for it. I mean, how many times have any of us had too much to drink and drove it? And it's the same kind of thing. And I just think, I wish I could climb inside your dad's head and figure out what's going on. What his rationale is, what he's thinking. Because I don't think he deserved to go to jail for a long period of time. I just don't think it. But that's not up to me. But if they ask the primary and secondary investigator, would you agree?
If Sandy did this, what kind of jail time he deserves, or?
Yeah, kind of something like that.
Not a lot.
I mean, we all know that nobody walks away from anything like that.
No.
But I think it does more good than not to put it to rest, to get it out, to deal with it. I mean, he's my age. He's got a long time to live yet. And probably that his whole life would be over. There's stumbling blocks that he still had plenty of time left over. But I don't know, and like I say, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Jim hopes I'm wrong. But I got to be true to myself and to my ability and what I think and what goes on up here and what I see when I do these kinds of investigations. And I haven't, no one in this unit, in this police department, outside of this police department, has been able to explain away all of these things to a reasonable, to say that Sandy's not involved. And Jim and I have been kind of on opposite poles on this in certain times. He's taken one side, I've taken the other. And so it's a healthy relationship that does that, because it keeps us from being, tunnel vision in this investigation, and keeps us more open-minded to, and God knows I am willing to listen to anything that would suggest otherwise. And this doesn't mean that you're sticking stops or anything. I mean, things that you come up with, sometimes they just pop into your head. And feel free, to call or leave a message on my voicemail, and I'll get right back to you or Jenny.
Okay.
I know this is tough on you. And believe me, we can empathize with you, but we also want to help you. We want to help your father. We want to help get this over with so that it can be behind us rather than something looming over us all the time.
I understand.
Is there anything else that, that we haven't covered?
I'll call you. I think everything. I mean, the only thing, and this is just for my aunt, keep in mind is the thing with Ed. Because that dream I've heard you all like.
We will definitely look at it. I promise you, without a doubt, that will be done.
Okay. If they're like, are you out of town, or are you just going to be like, all right, bye?
No. I'm going to find out, make sure he was, and then we may very well take it further than that, depending upon how.
Or was it work or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, believe me, we'll follow up on it. Because if there's anything that could explain it,
Right.
Sometimes it's after you find it out and you say, how did I miss this?
Right.
Because it seems so obvious, but sometimes that's the way they work.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I really appreciate your time.
All right, you've got my number, obviously.
I have your number.
And
I might open.
Apologize to Scott for keeping you so late.
He knows where I am.
Okay, so we understand. Yeah, I read what you wrote. The application. I've read it a few times, and yeah.
Okay. Sure. Very hard, and we understand that this is a difficult, predicament that you're in, or situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, yeah. I don't even know what to say. It's just, it's beyond shocking.
Yeah. Okay. What is your current address? And your phone number that you can be reached at?
You can reach with the landline.
Okay. So what do you do for work these days?
What I've been doing, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I have a small private practice. It's like 1 day a week.
Okay.
It's outpatient.
Nice.
Yeah.
And is that local?
Yeah.
Okay. I think so. Looking back, obviously this occurred over 20 years ago. So a lot of the questions we're going to ask you are from that time. So we're just going to, talk about things you remember, things you might not, all of that stuff. So, can you tell me where did you live when you were growing up?
Where did I grow up?
Yeah, what houses did you live in when you were growing up?
Well, I guess, I don't know.
Let's start with, where did you go to high school?
BCC.
When did you graduate?
94, but I got a GED actually.
Okay.
I think the date was 94.
Okay.
I would graduate in 94.
Okay. And when did you leave school or drop out or?
In 94, early 94. Yeah.
At that time, where were you living?
At that time, I was living.
And who were you living there with?
When I was in high school with my mother, father, and brother.
And your brother is?
Eugene. Yeah.
Does no one ever sibling each other?
No. Okay. And you may have to repeat questions because
That's okay.
Just so I can pay attention.
Sure.
I think your question was where did
So
where did I first?
That's fine. We'll start there. So you graduated, or you were set to graduate in 94.
Yes.
You lived at Brookside with your mother, father, and brother.
Yes.
Okay. Was there a time where what grade was your brother in at that time?
In high school.
Yeah.
He's 3 years younger. 3.5. I want to say the 9th grade.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. You don't have to be.
Yeah,
whatever you can remember. That's fine. And at what point did you move out of that house?
Okay, well, so I moved out of the house that house in Brookside Drive in August of 2001.
Okay. Between that time, did anyone else move out of the house?
Between the time...
Between 94 and 2001?
Well, my mother did.
Okay, when did she move out? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it was June of I moved out August of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My mother moved out of the house. She moved out June of 1994.
Okay, so shortly after you were about to graduate, she moved out. Okay. Did you or Andre ever move out with her, or did you guys move?
No, Eugene, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just to clarify. So Eugene moved out. I don't know. Okay, so in June of 94, when she left my father, she disappeared and sort of went into hiding, so to speak, and then divorce papers were served.
Mm-hmm.
I think Eugene may have been off it. I don't remember where he was, but I want to say she took him with her, but I think he was at boarding school, but it wouldn't make sense for June. I don't know where he was in June of 94 when she disappeared.
Okay.
But he, and then he moved. He moved out with her, or he moved out, but they had, as part of their separation or divorce, there was some, kind of like joint custody.
Sure.
So there were times that he would be at my father's house.
Okay, that was my next question. Was there kind of, would you guys go in between both houses?
I didn't. I just stayed with my father.
Okay.
I stayed with my father on Brookside Drive. My brother primarily, he went with my mother, but there was like joint custody, so he would spend some time at the house at Brookside Drive at the time where my mother got there. Initially it was in Grove.
Grosvenor, okay. Was there any, did you witness any abuse? Was there anything like that going on at home?
Jane?
Sure.
In terms of...
Mom, Dad,
Yeah.
any parental abuse you by?
Yeah. There was... Yeah.
I can see that's hard for you to answer, and I understand. Was that part of the reason for the separation?
Well,
Not that we have to go
I think it
into
was
that,
precipitated my mother to leave,
Mm-hmm.
was to take a step when my father came after her physically. Then I think that was like the final straw to kind of tempt her from the edge to move.
Okay. And there was some physicality with you and your brother?
With me, yes. Yeah. Not at the other house, but Brookside was. But yes, I believe there was with my brother potentially at least threat.
Mm-hmm. Was that from your mom or your dad?
From my dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
My mother was
stay.
My mother was never physical.
Okay.
No. Okay. I didn't have a choice. I had to. I didn't have anywhere to go when I was 18. If I could have, I wish she would have taken me with her.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm not saying that that was not an indication of any choice of you. It's an impossible choice. So your mom moved out. Eugene would kind of share custody because he was not 18. He was younger than that. Okay. Do you remember when you first met Lauren? When Eugene and Lauren started dating?
Lauren Prier.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't recall. I don't want to guess, so
Okay.
I don't recall.
Do you think it was before you graduated or after? And if you don't know, that's okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
like when I first met her as a person, like
Yeah, I guess
like,
did you
shook
meet her at
hands or
school
something.
or did you meet her because they were dating?
I want to. Well, that's a good question. I don't remember.
Okay, alright, that's okay. Was there a time that you remember Lauren Prier and your brother dating or having a relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember her ever being at your house?
At the Brooks. Yes.
At Brookside?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you ever meet Lauren's parents, Leslie and Carl?
Yes. Yes.
Had you ever been to their house?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
After.
After.
I mean, after they met, like, you know,
We're having a relationship.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
sometime. I mean, I guess when they, I can't exactly recall, but the only times that I went to their house was in the context of pet sitting.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
For what? Their dog?
for dog, yeah, dog, and I think they had a cat. I don't remember the cat's name. Cat. Do you remember the cat's name? No, and I'm a cat. I remember cat names, so it's like I don't.
Do you remember the dog name?
I do.
Boomer?
See that? Boomer. Boomer. Yes. It's normally to remember. I mean, I love both dogs and cats, but I tend to remember cats' names. But I remember Boomer was.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
About how many times do you think you've had them, if you can remember?
That's a good question. Probably. I mean, the range would be somewhere between like 3 and 5, but I really don't recall exactly, but I would say probably more than twice, but not a whole lot. Not like I don't think it was more like 6, but let's just say 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
Between 3 to 5, maybe,
Something
or
like
3
that.
to 4. Okay. Do you remember how many years that spanned? Like, was it over the course of 1 year, or maybe a couple years?
I don't recall exactly. I mean, it was more than one. It was over the course of more than 1 year, but past that, was it like 2 years, a year and a half, 3 years?
Was it after Eugene and Lauren broke up, or do you think it was just during their relationship?
I don't think it was. So that's what I don't recall, but I want to say that, and I don't want to guess, but so your question was it after they broke up or
Right, like did it
during?
continue after they broke up, or was it mostly just when they were dating?
I want to say, see, I don't know when they broke up.
Okay.
So the newspaper said something about. I mean, I wasn't really close to my brother, so I don't know his.
Yeah. Okay.
The dates, but so I think.
Sounds like
I don't know.
I'm not bad. If you had me what happened in 2009, in 97, I could probably be fuzzy too, so I understand. It can be fuzzy in our memory, so that's okay.
Do you remember who would generally set up the pet thing? Would it be Sandy or Leslie?
Leslie.
Yeah.
I had a thought. When do you think the last time was that you went to their house?
Yeah.
Time frame wise.
I'm thinking that I don't. Okay, so I'm not sure, but what I can say is I don't think it was past. I think the latest would have been like 99, 1999.
Yeah.
And perhaps it could have even been quite a bit earlier than that. And I mean, I guess it's remotely possible. I don't think it was later than 99 would have been the last, but I think
But at the latest, it was 99.
At the
Yeah.
latest,
Okay.
if not probably even before that, but that would have probably been the latest.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So years before she would go. If
Yeah.
not anything like
Yeah.
that. Do you remember what year your brother graduated?
We didn't graduate. Graduate, yes. So.
And okay, did you have a friendly relationship with Lauren? Did you keep in touch with her?
No. Well, no. I mean, if I encountered his friendly relationship,
sure.
Like, did I keep in touch? I mean, I don't recall, but I don't think that I want to say I don't think that I did, but if I came across her and be friendly, I mean, she's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is.
Yeah. Okay. Did you ever have any problems or issues with the family with Carl or do you call him Carl or Sandy?
Well, I didn't really know him.
Okay.
He was kind of, I mean, maybe like, I don't remember how many times I've even seen his face. I mean, well, at the memorial service, but maybe like, yeah, I want to say like maybe at the most even twice before that, at most, if that's what before that. So, I think I just recall him not really saying much or being one, but I meet him and not really know.
Okay, but you didn't have an issue with him or with Leslie or with
No.
So you mentioned the memorial service. You went to the memorial service?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember if your brother went to the memorial service?
I didn't see him there. Okay. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Did you know where he was at that time?
No.
Did he mention that he was in town or out of town or anything like that?
He didn't mention anything because I didn't talk to him. For a while.
Yeah. Okay. How did you find out about Leslie's murder?
I can't recall how I found out about the murder. I can't recall how, but I know that it was, I believe it was in the newspaper because we got the Post-interrogation and I would read the A section, Metro section, read the crime, what was happening, Yeah. And so I know that I read in for sure I saw an article in the Post, and I don't recall like exactly how I heard, how I knew, but I know that at a minimum there was an article in the Post.
Did your mom or dad, were they friendly with Lauren's parents? Did they know each other in a social setting or just kind of because the kids were dating?
So you're wondering if they...
Yeah, like did they tell you or... And if you don't know, that's fine.
Well, so you're asking two things, did they tell me about them?
Right, I guess my question is, did your family find out because of the paper? Or did somebody call your mom or you or your dad to say that this happened?
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But you did ask about
prior to that, were they friends?
The newspaper reported something like that, but I don't recall they were friendly or acquainted. I mean, they probably, this is just a guess that they met.
Right.
They've all met each other would be my guess, but I don't know.
But you guys didn't hang out as family together, you would say.
I wasn't a part of.
Okay.
No. Okay. I mean, I can't say it didn't happen, but I wasn't a part.
To your knowledge, you weren't aware of that. Okay.
One thing I want to clarify, we have not spoken with any of the reporters in the newspaper. So anything you're reading in the newspaper is either purely speculation or something that they have gotten from some other. So I wouldn't take anything you read in the newspaper as factual.
Right? Yeah, I don't want when I read the newspaper replace the...
Exactly. That's what's important. That what you know for sure in your mind, what you remember. Don't go by anything the newspaper says.
Let me just be really careful not to make any guesses. I just want to say what I know for sure, because I know there's things they sort of gravitate towards just sort of guessing.
Yeah,
So-
don't do that. Just you remember.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I just have a quick
go ahead.
question. You said, like during the time of the memorial service, you weren't sure because you and Eugene hadn't really talked in a while. Why is that? Were you guys in any kind of a rift or anything? Were you not talking for any specific reason?
Well, I didn't have a close relationship with Eugene, and I don't even know if I would say I guess I had a, if you're sibling, you have a relationship, but, in a way, technically, but I did not have a close relationship with him. I didn't know where he was, what he did. I just, but if you're at the time of the memorial service, and I was also in university or at that point, and but even if I wasn't, I didn't have I was going to say I was a bit busy, but at the same time, even if I wasn't, I didn't have we didn't have a relationship, and, I don't know how to explain it, but I just, I don't want to say anything bad, but I just didn't really feel I didn't feel like I could trust him. I didn't really. We just weren't close and just different.
Yeah.
Kind of. Just I would say very different people. So.
We know that he was out of town. So we have like records and things that show that he wasn't in the area at all during the time of the service and things like that. And we thought that was a little bit peculiar because, your ex-girlfriend's mother got murdered. That's very serious. I would definitely want to, be there. And obviously you felt compelled to go.
Yes.
So that's one of the main things that we're kind of confused about. Like why would he distance himself so much? Just there wasn't a reason for it, and we were just trying to figure out like if you remember anything about that time, or if there was anything that was said, or
not at that time. No.
Did you and Eugene have a conversation about letting death?
That's a good question, and I don't remember ever having a conversation with him about Leslie's death. Ever having I don't recall ever having a conversation with him about Leslie's death. Which, you might think is peculiar, given it's such a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't, but I didn't have many conversations with him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Although this, it does strike me as peculiar that he didn't mention it to me either. So it's just kind of like, I knew, I was the memorial service, I knew that she had been murdered at the memorial service, but I didn't know that I didn't know why. I wasn't really thinking, we just didn't happen that we had a conversation about that. But if I think about it now, it's like, yeah.
Who do you recall having a conversation with about that?
My father. We would sit and play armchair, and like true crime, like, what do you think? What do you think happened? And the main thing at the time, we all thought, most of us the father.
Yeah.
Have you had any conversations with your father since this has all come to light?
Not before this is. Before, right out, after in the week after the murder, we would talk about like what happened, or suspected some sort of burglary. That we would kind of go through the whole, the scenario, and but then we didn't really talk about it after that. Then I moved out, so moved out in August of that year in August of 2001, and then it was never. I don't recall ever anything about it until rest.
Was Eugene and your father close?
I don't.
Is he close with your mother? Is he close with anyone?
I mean the mental health field, so that's I don't. You know, you can.
The loaded question.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think the best answer would be I don't know, but I want to say that he's not close to my father. I couldn't imagine being close to my father. I mean, to the best of my
So at the time of Leslie's murder, do you recall what were you doing for work? Were you working? You said you were going to school. What were you doing?
I wasn't working in my profession. I don't think I was licensed. I got my first license probably at the end of 2020, somewhere in 2001 maybe. But I was in, I was in school. I was in university. Before that was the first semester of my graduate program.
Okay, where did you go to school?
University of Maryland.
Okay, and you were commuting from Brookside?
Yeah, to Baltimore. Okay.
Yeah. What was Eugene doing at that time? Was he working or was he in school?
I don't know.
Do you know where he's living?
I don't know where. I really don't know where he was living at the time, and I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to guess. And I don't want to say hearsay. Sure. I guess or I think I don't know. Mm-hmm. I really can't say for sure.
So May 2001.
But he wasn't living in Brookside, right?
Wasn't living in Brookside. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall seeing Eugene here and there? Would he come by to get stuff, or I don't know what the scenario would be?
So you're asking, did he around that time
come to and from your dad's house?
With the joint custody and was that still going on?
I don't recall, but I don't recall seeing. That was a year where I was trying to remember these things. Mm-hmm. Like the before and the and I just don't remember seeing him around. At that time period.
Yeah. Did he have access to the house? Did he have a house key?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Did he drive a car at that point?
I just guessing. I'm gonna say probably, but I.
You don't know what kind of car he drove?
No.
Did he have a license? You don't know.
I mean, I never seen it. I mean, I didn't ID him or something.
Sure.
Show me. So I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, there's again, I don't want to guess or presume. There can be a lot of assume or presume.
Right. Have you seen your brother driving a car at that time?
At that time, I'm trying to get a visual about what I've seen him driving a car. I can't remember a specific date that I saw him drive a car. I'm trying to think. I mean, this is assume that, he drove.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get if I could think of a visual or some event that would lead me to a picture in my mind.
Yeah. Of him in a car.
Yeah.
In the early 99.
In that time. Well, but that was really first case. 56, 57. I mean, if you want to give me a memory jogger, you can. But
Did you ever see him driving a gold Nissan?
That sounds. I have so there's two things with that. Can I come up with a visual of him driving a car around that time? I can't.
Okay, that's fine.
But can I come up with a visual, or does the gold Nissan sound familiar?
Right.
It sounds familiar in the sense that I kind of have like a vague. There was some like a. Was it like a two-door?
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Off the top of my head.
I mean, it sounds gold or yellow. It sounds familiar, or but I can't say that. I mean, I haven't seen him driving, so except
he never drove you to the supermarket or to pick up a movie or something.
No.
Okay.
No.
Were you aware of any drug use? Did you doing any drugs at the time? Or back in high school, or when you guys were living,
Well, I don't know what. Yeah, around the time that because I didn't see him. I wasn't really in contact.
Prior to that, when you had more contact, maybe when
like
in high school,
years or
like 90.
When you all lived together.
Yeah.
Together.
When you were dog sitting for years.
Well, when I was pen sitting for years, I wasn't really in contact. I mean, the late 90s, I didn't have much. I had minimal of any minimal contact with Eugene.
Were you aware of any drug issues with Eugene?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know what time period. If you're asking for a time period,
No,
I can't say what
at all.
kind of drugs.
Let me just be sure.
Marijuana.
You're probably not telling us anything we don't already know.
Yeah.
Okay. We've talked for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean marijuana.
Okay. Anything other than marijuana that you are aware of or suspected?
Well, I want to say. Well, I can't remember if I see it drinking. But I like to say the mid-90s. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think in those years, marijuana.
Yeah. Did he ever talk to you about drugs or buying drugs or
Marijuana.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you know where he bought his drugs or who he bought them from? And I'm not gonna go. We're not
the drug lord.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
We're not the drug squad. 20 just like
Well, I don't know. I mean, like if there's a total, like let's say if there's out of, it's like what storage, what storage they normally go to that 7-Eleven or that 7-Eleven. That I don't know. I mean, there was perhaps like one person who, I don't even. I just don't know. I don't know. For sure, I really don't.
At that time, do you remember any of Eugene's good friends when he was dating Warren?
Well, I mean, I can tell you. I mean, there are some names. If you mention names, I can say. But the problem is that I don't know what time period. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what time period to attribute.
Just anything you remember. So, obviously, you guys weren't super close later on, but what do you remember? Like, what friends do you remember? Names you can recall or anything like that?
Well, I can recall names, but I don't know if you're talking about the time period when he lived there at Brookside Drive, which would have been in those years, we could probably think of like who his contacts or acquaintance. I don't know, a friend, acquaintance. You want to use it loosely, say this. But I don't know. I don't know if they were like close friends. But we want to go with acquaintance,
sure. Yeah.
But the thing is that I don't know. Was it after? Because I didn't have much contact, I didn't know if it was going to be like 99 or was it 98 or 97. Frankly, I really don't know much about the years that he wasn't, living there at Brookside Drive.
So just what you know, what you remember.
The friends from Brookside Drive?
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a good quite a well there was the Whitman boys lived across. There was Brendan Banky, Armando. I don't know if it was from that time period, but there was Garrett. I think it was probably from that time. They're a bit after. Brendan Kerr. The Wilders. Gosh.
What makes you say gosh?
God. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'll tell you, it was Ari Wilder, and then I think that was his primary, and then there was Chris Wilder, Mike Wilder. I did hear Chris Wilder died at Mike Wilder's route, but I guess they lived somewhere off Mass Ave, and I mean, this is just, I don't want to say it, this is my opinion, or my, it's not a fact, okay? It's just, but I mean, I did sort of consider Ari the, neighborhood sociopath, so to speak, you know?
And what made you say that?
He was just kind of haughty, and it seemed like he really wasn't in the mood to follow any sort of view to me. Just seemed sort of. There was a story, I didn't see this happen, but there was a story one time that I think my mother, slapped him. She doesn't slap anybody, or somebody slapped him, right? But he was.
Wow.
And then the story was that sometime later, Ari told my mom, he deserved it or something like that, or this is the story that I heard it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was. Yeah, so Ari Wilder, Chris Wilder, Mike. But I think Mike Wilder. I think there were three brothers, but Ari was the one that I think my brother was primarily friends with. I'm trying to think of.
Did they ever get in trouble together? Do you think?
I would be surprised. Yeah. I would be surprised, but I don't remember any specifics.
Okay. Around that time, do you remember hearing that Eugene was getting into trouble or getting arrested or anything like that, or suspected of?
Hearing or having direct
either
knowledge.
If you've heard it, tell that.
Well, meaning, okay, so an instance where I heard that he actually got in trouble for something specific, I think there was something about shoplifting at Woody's, which was a department store, and then I don't know what years this was, but that I think he got kicked out of a. Again, this is what I heard, so it's because it's what I hear today.
Sure, that's fine. We can mark that out. That's okay. You can clarify it.
I heard that he got expelled from boarding school before. And it was Phantom Jacket.
Do you remember what boarding school it was?
I'm not sure, but I want to say something called Christchurch, maybe.
Do you remember what state it was in?
Maybe Virginia.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, do you have any memory joggers? But I don't.
Is there a reason he went to boarding school? Was he not doing well at DCC, or what caused him to go to boarding school?
I think. See, I don't want to guess. I don't know the timeline with this. I don't want to guess, but I want to say that I think he might have gone to boarding school after my. I want to say he might have gotten shipped off to boarding school after my mother left my father. I think, but I'm not sure. I just don't. I'd have to see like a timeline, just memory joggers. I'm not even sure I recall.
Some of the other friends that you mentioned, one of the names was Garrett. Do you know his last name?
No, I don't know his last name, but if you said it, I could say it sounds familiar.
Is it Harding or Harding or something like that?
Yeah, no, I don't know. That I don't know.
Does he still live in the area, or did he grow up around here? Or what do you know about Garrett?
I don't know. I mean, if they were friends, I would presume he lived in the area if they were friends, but I don't know where he lived. I mean, I can guess, but I don't know. I mean, if they were friends, then I would assume he was. I mean, just assume that he was local. That would be what I would infer. You know, but I mean, did I know where he lived or his house? Or I bet no.
Do you remember anything else about Garrett, or?
A guess or?
Just anything you remember.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm trying to remember if I heard, something, maybe it was Garrett adopted or something. That was the one, but I could be really off about this. I may not know, but Garrett, he was seen, a couple times eventually the next time, but
Do you know how they knew each other, like school or neighborhood?
I don't have to know.
I'm just gonna throw out a couple more names. Lisa.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lisa. Well, Lisa was friends with Lauren, so that's kind of where Lisa comes in. I guess Lisa went to BC. I think she went to BCC.
But so I guess how and where did you meet her? Would they hang out at your dad's house, or did you just know that they all were friends?
Are you asking where did I initially first ever meet Lisa?
Yeah, or just like how do you know Lisa?
Well, the way that I would know Lisa, I don't know where and when I first had an introduction to Lisa, or when I first met her, for the first time. But the context of how I would have seen Lisa would have been probably through Lauren.
Okay.
But I don't know where. Like I'm trying to get visuals of that, like where I can place. But I want to say she went to BCC. I saw her at BCC, but I'm trying to get a visual, and I can't get a specific visual. But I mean, my guess is, my best guess would be that through Laura. I don't know that I saw Lisa. I ever encountered Lisa outside of the context of being with Lauren.
Yeah, for like a group setting.
Something
they
like
would all
like
teenagers hang out.
Yeah,
right,
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you recall where that would be? Would it have been at your dad's house? Would it have been at your mom's house?
Yes. Lisa, I do believe Lisa would come over to, like you said, a group, like to the house.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What about David Utero?
Yes, David Utero was in the mix, so to speak, of that crowd.
Okay.
But I don't believe David Utero went to BCC. I think he may have been older, but I want to say that maybe he was. Did he date Lauren? I seem to want to say he dated Lauren, but I don't, and that's how he got into the.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't exactly recall. But I mean, I've met David Terrell,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. David Kojak? He has his first name. Kojak?
Yes.
Was he also in that group?
I believe so, but maybe like late, like not. He didn't go to BCC,
Okay.
so I don't know. I mean, I know David Kojak, but I don't know where I don't know where David Kojak sort of came into the group.
Okay.
That group of people, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
You would think of more names.
They pop in your head. Right. Alon? Have you ever heard of anyone named Alon?
I have.
Who's that? Or how do you know that name?
Alam or Adam. I think his name was. It's like. I think he went by either Adam or Alam. I have no idea where Alam or Adam came in, how he was introduced to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he came into the. And I don't know what years. I think I want to say later than the high school years, but I don't know. I mean, so your question is, did that name sound familiar? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I know that he was at least an acquaintance of you.
So your mom at some point lived at Newmarket.
Yes.
Did you ever live there with her?
Well, when I left my father's house in August of 2001, I had nowhere else to go, and so I moved there to the Newmark house, which is there probably I was there for just a few weeks, and then she kind of replaced.
Okay. Was Eugene there, living there as well at that time?
That's a good question. So here's what I remember about that. I can only recall 2 nights that I was there in that August time period around August 2001. I can only recall 2 nights where Eugene was there.
Do you recall there being any issues with the neighbors as a result of Eugene?
I had heard that, I don't even know, well, I don't want to guess, but I'm not sure how I heard this, but something about like complaints or landlord, something about my lover, concerned about the landlord, complaint the landlord was gonna kind of have some issue with your tenancy because of some complaints or something. But I don't remember specifically. I remember how I heard that. I don't even recall. I'm sort of maybe paraphrasing, or I don't have a good memory, but it's kind of vague.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't the result of anything you did.
No.
Okay.
No, not that I. No.
No. Do you remember if Lauren ever came to the Newmarket and the address? Were they still dating around that time? Or
That I don't.
Do you know what Eugene was doing for work at that time, or if he was working?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Yeah.
Do you know him to ever have had a job at high school or post high school?
I mean, I know of supposedly that, this guessing or kind of like hearsay sort of stuff. I know that he supposedly had jobs, but in terms of the only job that, if you rattle some off, I remember that the only one that I recall where like we went there and he was working there, so I say that, he was working there.
Yeah.
This place in Bethesda Hotel and Cafe.
Okay. So be a bartender there,
A
or
waiter.
a waiter? Okay.
Or was he a waiter? Or was he? I don't know. I think he was a waiter. Yeah. I think.
Do you remember a place called Black? Do you remember if he ever worked there?
I don't know. I can't say that I can verify he worked there, because I didn't I don't think I saw him. There's a Black's restaurant Bethesda where I had heard, again hearsay that he worked there, but I don't. I didn't verify. Okay, he did work or call to work. So we did go there once as a family for dinner, but I don't know if he was. I don't recall necessarily. Was he there? I don't remember whether he was. I just don't recall that once. I don't remember if. I guess the point is that we may have gone there for dinner because he worked there, but I can't verify in the way that I haven't met. I remember seeing him at Tel Aviv 10 minutes.
Yeah. Do you know what he most recently does in the job?
I know what he told me. He did say something about some company that does something about marketing or accounts for a company that does. This is my understanding. This is what he said. So I don't have any way of knowing.
Sure.
But he told me that, I believe he told me that it was a company that does video camera surveillance for commercial buildings. Something about marketing or accounts. And that was within the news.
Right.
But that's, yeah.
I want to bring you back to May of 2001, when you found out that Leslie was murdered. Do you recall thinking about where you were that day when she was killed?
From what I can recall, and of course, you don't remember every day.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't remember anything out of the ordinary, but I would assume, and from what I can recall, I was at home and just 2009 Brookside Drive. I would do my usual, not get up till noon is fine. I think classes may have been over by then, but I was. Yeah. Brookside Drive house.
And at that time, was your dad still living there?
Yes. Yeah, I was living with my dad.
And what was his schedule in general, if you remember?
See, he taught, but I don't know if he. I don't know if he was teaching or. Again, it's guessing or assume without really knowing. He guess he was at college, teaching at college. He was a professor, but I don't know that he. I can't say that he was. I don't remember if he was leaving for work every day, or what his schedule was. But the presumption is that he was doing what he normally professor, and
So around the house during the day, you wouldn't necessarily see your dad every day at the same time, or come home at the same time.
Typically, maybe summer was different, but typically. Let me just try to remember. Typically, he would leave, not always, but typically, okay, so I would wake up, and when I woke up, he would be gone. Unless I had a reason to be up before noon, I still, to this day, I'm a night person. So I had nothing, even now it's early for me.
Yeah.
So, I would typically when I would wake up, he wouldn't be there, and the presumption would be that he was at work. But,
Would you ever see Eugene kind of pop into the house or leave?
Not around that, or those, he would, the times that I saw Eugene pop into the house would be the time period when he, there was like joint custody.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There was, I have to say that I did have some concern. Well, I don't want to say much, but I remember feeling concerned that he might stop by after he was 18, even though there wasn't a custody thing. But I don't recall specifically that it happened.
Were you afraid of your brother?
Can I answer that? Well, I guess we should define what afraid means, because there's different levels of...
Did your brother ever assault you?
No, not physically, no.
Did he ever threaten you?
Physically, in terms of physically, he's gonna threaten me physically, like in a kind of like second degree assault kind of way, like threatening? No.
Alright, let me ask you this. What made you afraid of your brother? That he was gonna come to the house unaccounted.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to that time period, because there's a difference. Okay.
Let's start there.
Okay, so what made me afraid of coming to the house at that time, in that time period, was I was concerned that he would show up and he would steal something.
Okay. And what kind of thing would you be afraid that he would steal?
Well, I didn't know specifically, but that, I mean, there was the bike.
Do you think he would steal anything to sell them or to get money? What was his ultimate goal, do you believe?
I don't know. I don't want to guess, but I don't want to guess. I don't have any direct knowledge of him.
Did he ever steal from you before?
In those years?
Anytime.
Yes. I mean, I also can't say 100% sure, but I'm under the, yes, I have to believe the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're under the belief that the times that he had stolen from you, but is that what you mean?
So at the time I was under, in those years, like for example, when you say did he come to the house, after he was 18, I was concerned that he may show up at the house and steal, because sometime either before that, when there was joint custody, or I'm trying to think if anything happened after he was 18, or it was just my concern.
Right.
So, but at some time point, perhaps before he was 18, I was strongly suspicious that he had stolen.
What kind of things would go missing?
My bike. Bikes. Plural.
Yeah. Any cash?
I don't know for sure, but possibly, but I don't want to guess. But the bike, and then some other, I guess there was a phone.
Like a cell phone? Or?
No, it was like a landline phone or an answering machine or something that he, some sort of a phone, and then, I want to say, I don't remember, I want to say CDs, but I don't remember exactly. But the bikes are what stood out.
Do you remember what brand of bike?
I don't remember what brand.
So you said more than one bike?
I believe it was, so I had two bikes that went missing.
Okay.
So I had one, then...
You replaced it?
Yes. And then another one, so...
Did your father ever think or suspect that things were missing from the house that he owned? Or did you ever hear your father say, "Oh, I'm missing that"?
No, but if you give me a memory.
Yeah, no, I looked at it.
No.
just asking.
What about like Eugene, kind of like a thorn in your side a little bit? Yeah, we all have that family member. We all have people that like torture us. But I look back at some of my family members and I'm like, every time I have a memory of that person, it's just kind of like irritating and traumatizing. Like, oh great, here we go again. And I can't remember specific things, but I just remember like that person just would drive me crazy.
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of like that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you find out about.
I just want to get back to, because I feel like you had a little bit of a reaction when I said, were you afraid of your brother?
Okay.
And can we get into that a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything else that made you fearful of him?
So in those years, it was the theft, potential for theft. In more recent, time, I was,
Give us a year.
late 2019, 2020, 2021, 20, maybe even into 2022, but primarily I would say like around February 2020. I was, I guess we could use the word fear, but I was concerned or scared that he was going to sort of sabotage my life in the way that, what I mean by that is that he was going to render me homeless, and he was sort of posturing and maneuvering to come after my living situation and wanted me to get kicked out of where I live, and that he was behind the scenes kind of manipulating my parents or sort of making a case that to get me out, which would mean I'd be homeless. So I was so that's why I felt threatened by him.
Okay. Did you ever tell anybody that you thought Eugene was trying to hurt you, kill you?
Not hurt me or kill me, but I used the word scared. But scared, to mean various things.
Do you remember ever sending Lauren a message?
I did.
Yeah. What was that? Tell me about that.
Well, so because of the posturing and maneuvering to get me out of the house, I questioned my reality and my instincts, and I got from my mother, oh no, that's not, or I get little hints from my mother that that's what he was doing, but overall, is he a threat to me? She would be like, oh no, of course not, your brother's on threat. But I wanted to confirm, I had an eerie feeling about him. So there was the trying to get me out of the house, but then I had this kind of like gut, kind of instinct, eerie feeling that it made me, I wondered that if somebody's going to get you out of the house and render you homeless, I just had a gut feeling that perhaps he could be dangerous, but I didn't really have any,
what do you mean by dangerous?
Well, dangerous, what I meant by threatened or dangerous at the time but this was based upon trying to get me out of the house.
Sure.
So, but then, I didn't know if it sort of stopped. I didn't know the extent of it. So I thought, if my brother's going to get me out of the house, did that mean he's just dangerous?
Like, what length would he go to?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Right, exactly. What lengths would he go?
Yeah.
So I couldn't ask my mother because she wasn't giving me a realistic. I couldn't ask my father, was giving me a realistic. So what I did is I reached out to somebody who I thought knew him, his character, not recent character, but from the past, that could say, oh, your brother really cares, he seems to be a very caring, he would never, I wanted to sort of confirm or deny my gut, and so that's why I messaged Lauren was to see, is kind of like to bounce the ball off the wall to see if it sticks or comes back as to is he potentially a threat, and I didn't really get an answer.
Do you remember what exactly you wrote to her?
I just basically said, hi, I don't, something about I don't feel like I feel like my brother, he dislikes me, perhaps he always did dislike me, Some days I'm scared of him. Should I trust my instinct or am I going crazy?
Did you message anyone else? Or just Lauren?
Did I message anybody else?
Yeah, in the same context.
Yes, I did.
Who else?
His ex-wife.
Which one?
Jane.
Jane. Did Jane answer you?
Something about, I forgot what it was. Something about, like, are you still not getting along, or are you still having problems with Eugene, or something like that. And I remember being surprised, like, I was really like, do we actually have problems? Like, what, maybe she knew, you know, so, then with the migraine, I think it was something about migraine, but I think I was a little bit more specific, something about physical threat at my past, Jane, but I didn't really, in neither case did I get a confirmation
Confirmation or a reoccurrence or a confirmation.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember how you met Lauren? What was it on? Text messages, Facebook, Instagram?
Facebook.
How about Jane? Same. Were you ever aware of any physical issues or physical abuse or anything with Jane and Eugene, or any fighting or physicality with them?
Between Jane and Eugene?
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of.
Were you close with Jane when they were married?
I like Jane.
Yeah.
I like Jane. She was. Was I close? I wouldn't say I was close, but I felt more of a connection with her than his second wife. But I mean, I felt enough of a connection to feel like I could message her, you know.
Yeah. Do you still talk to Jane? Have you talked to her recently?
No.
Have you talked to Lauren since then?
No, I got a message from Lauren. I haven't called back.
Since the arrest?
Yeah. I'd like to talk to her. I mean, I really would. But I don't know. At some point.
Right. Probably better because of everything, because we're still,
Yeah.
in this investigation, maybe when everything is said and done. But hey, I can't, I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying, it's your instincts to probably not reach back out is probably okay.
Yeah, I mean, ideally I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but I guess emotionally I'd like to, but intellectually I'm thinking like maybe, like you said.
Might not be the best idea right now.
Yeah.
She's going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Have you recently talked to Garrett or David Utero or David Kojak or?
David Kojak, since the arrest, I have spoken to David Kojak about, I think the main premise was about him visiting, and I just wanted to update or talk.
Did he call you?
Yes, he initiated, yes.
Have you been to Eugene since there?
No.
Has he tried to call you?
Well, actually, so I got a missed call so normally I don't see who missed calls because all these spam from India or somebody, So, but I guess it was it the Friday, I guess, I'm guessing he probably was transported to this area. Friday, I got a missed call from a number and I returned the call and it said IC Solution.
Yeah.
And I looked that up and I figured that was him,
Yeah. Have you talked to his current girlfriend? Do you know her?
Not well, no, I don't. I spoke to her once, a day or two after he was arrested. My primary concern really was about make sure that the cat is okay and that I presume it is or assume, but I'm an animal person.
Yeah.
I just sort of want to confirm that,
Being taken care of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are there any, I was just, while we're talking about people, is there anyone that you can recall or you think it would be a good idea for us to talk to? Anybody that might have more context of his life at the time, or
I thought you might ask that actually. And regarding that time period, the time period before the around,
anytime around, yeah.
well, see, the thing is that I don't really those years. I don't know who he was really. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. So if you're talking about around that time period, I mean, you mentioned, you know, what I guess, but I don't really know. Yeah.
Was he dating anyone at that time that you know of?
That's a good question too, and I don't know who he was. I just don't know who he was dating. I wouldn't know who he was dating at the time and then also like if you were to write a name, I could tell you if he's ever dated them, but I don't know what time period.
Have you ever heard the name Maureen?
Yes.
Do you think that he was dating her at some point, and maybe not at the same time frame, but
did
they date?
Yes, at some point they dated.
Do you know her last name?
No, but if you mention the name, I could tell you it sounds familiar.
I don't have a last name.
Yeah.
Is she somebody that you guys went to school with?
No, I don't know how he met Maureen exactly.
I'm sorry to jump around. Do you have anything else for that? When Eugene was in high school years, I guess. So after you had graduated, after 94.
Okay.
Do you recall Eugene being questioned by the police on any matter? Can you tell me about that?
I know what you're getting at. And
Okay,
so I think I know what you're getting at. And it's an interesting one because I wish I knew, because that to me, if he was involved in that, it would make me think he was dangerous.
Yeah.
And
what is that? Tell me what that is.
Well, so what happened was, and I don't know what that is, except this is again what I heard, or from my parents, or maybe even my grandparents, was that I think it was maybe a detective. I want to say maybe a female detective or a detective from Park Police.
Okay.
Had showed up, and I guess had some. There was some, and again, this is what I heard from, like, I think it was my parents, but it could have been my grandparents as well, was that a park police detective had shown up, and he was supposedly suspected in something, I get when used for assault, but I don't know what's some sort of an assault on a bike path.
Okay.
And
do you know which bike path?
Well,
what would be your best guess?
Well, this is a guess. So I didn't, so I mean, I remember thinking at the time, or guessing, that it was, I guessed that it was the Little Falls bike path, but I don't know. And I guess there's potential, maybe other bike paths. I don't know if the Capitol Crescent Trail was in there at that time period, but I remember like hearing this and then guessing in my mind, getting a visual, like, okay, it's that stretch or something, and trying to figure out, well, what stretch, trying to get a visual, what stretch.
Yeah.
And because there was a mention, I think my parents thought it might have been like John Flynn, who lived further up. And so I remember thinking to myself, I wonder what part of the bike path, because John Flynn lives at the top of the hill, or lived over there by Hillendale and Bradley. And, so I was trying to think, but So the answer is I don't know if I can. But I remember guessing that it was the little falls and whatever.
Do you remember what the attack was?
I don't remember what the attack.
Do you know if it was a robbery or an assault or a sexual assault or?
What I heard was it was the word that was used was assault.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if did that.
Yeah. Do you remember the victim was a man or a woman?
I recall hearing that it was a woman.
Do you remember if there was any mention of a sexual component?
No, I don't remember hearing anything about that. No.
Okay. Do you know if he was ever arrested for it?
As far as I know, he wasn't. I'm guessing, but I don't recall. I don't recall that he was arrested for that.
At the time, was he under 18?
That's what I don't know. That's a good question.
You don't remember the year?
I don't remember the year. I do not remember the year.
Okay. Do you remember any other names anyone else who was questioned about it or suspected in it?
That name that I mentioned was simply, I think it might have been that my parents thought the thing about John Flynn, but I don't even know, I don't have any knowledge anybody was questioned or that it was.
Do you know why they thought it was James?
Well, the story was that I heard was from either my parents, I think it was from my parents, not my grandparents, but it could have been either, that supposedly the suspicion arose because the victim had supposedly, I said allegedly, but because I don't, had identified his picture in a yearbook and had.
All right, thank you.
What were your initial instincts? Like, were you thinking, this makes me even more scared of my brother now? Or were you like, oh no, there's no way he did that?
At the time or in 2020?
Well, at the time, yeah, and then 2020 as well.
Well, at the time I didn't know, I didn't really have a strong feeling either way, because I remember thinking to myself, it was kind of early morning, but on the other hand, I remember thinking like, well, this is why what I was hoping that I would have known would have been what part of the bike path, because I remember thinking to myself at the time that wasn't the part that he would have walked to go.
That was my question. Was it your impression that it was the bike path that kind of ran between Lauren's neighborhood and your neighborhood?
That's what I sort of wanted to know.
Right.
First is another bike path or another part of the bike path, but but I didn't really have a strong gut back then. In 2020, the thing about the bike path, or was it 2021? Or I think it's 2021. I had when I was trying to kind of make a kind of rapid sort of assessment as to whether he could potentially be dangerous.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that, and so I wanted, in my mind, I was thinking okay, I remember thinking if he was responsible for this bike path thing, then to me that would be confirmation, and I wasn't getting any other confirmation.
Yeah. Yep. I understand. When you were dog sitting for the Creers, did you have a key to their house?
I don't remember if Leslie gave me a key that then I would give her back, or whether the key was hidden somewhere, and every time I went to walk Boomer, that whether the policy was to take the key from a spot and then put it back in the spot. I don't remember.
Okay. So either of those two things could have been.
Yeah, but I don't remember if it was pet sitting for them or somebody else. I could be getting the memory. I'm not, may just be guessing, but sometimes with people, I remember something about I don't remember if it was with the Leslie Prier or with another pet sitting kind of client, whether some people they want you to leave the key in case somebody else
have to come in.
like a repairman or somebody else is going to do you do one walk today and one to walk. So I just don't remember.
How would you get to their house from your house?
I'd either drive or walk, but I think probably I drove.
If you were to walk, how would you walk the bike path or
if I was to walk the bike path?
About how long would it take you?
From Brookside
to Leslie,
15 minutes.
Okay. And is it along the Somerset bike path, kind of?
It would be from Brookside, it would be to Dorset, Dorset, I guess, and then,
is there an entrance in your neighborhood, in the Brookside neighborhood,
to
the bike path?
Well, not in that Kenwood neighborhood. There's not an entrance to that bike path. I mean, Capitol Crescent Trail at this point goes there, but that isn't the way that
you would go.
Right. So going from Brookside, you would have to cross Little Falls, and then right as Little Falls and Dorset, there's an entrance to that bike path. The bike path, and then from it. But I think probably I want to say that I probably drove.
Right, from that way.
But I mean, you could walk.
Okay. Did you know if Eugene and Lauren would walk between the houses and they were dating?
I mean, I'm guessing.
Okay.
But I would presume. But I don't know.
Okay. Did you ever know Eugene did take public transportation?
Around that time?
Yeah.
Or any time?
Or any time, really?
No, I can't recall, actually.
Okay. Did you and Eugene ever walk together to the Prier house? That you can remember?
You see, we lived over at DeRusi before we moved to Kenwood, which was another few streets down. So, as a really young kid, I mean, I guess we would sort of at times play on that bike path, or there was another, when we were really young, there was another boy that lived at the end of named Damon Wallace, at the end of the bike path, but I think that was before. Well, I know it was before all this because we lived on DeRusi. Did I ever walk with Eugene on the bike path? That's a good question. I don't recall. I don't recall specifically.
Did your mom go to the funeral with you?
She went. She was there.
Went, but not with you. Okay, how about your dad?
He was there.
He was there. Okay. Do you recall them wondering where Eugene was?
No. I don't recall them wondering where Eugene was, but there was somebody at the memorial service who said, I think there was a man who said, somebody said, "Where's Eugene?"
But you don't remember an answer?
No.
Okay. And do you remember your parents talking about that being strange or expecting him there and he wasn't there? Okay. And you don't recall any of his travel movements or your parents talking about his travel or any reason why he would be traveling?
No, not. I mean, some maybe months later, it's something about we're like where did Eugene go, or was he out of town? You know, where's Eugene been? And then just like many months later, I was hearing my mother say about out of town, or I don't remember what she said exactly, but something about out of town. But I don't remember whether it was before or after or what. But
Do you know, if you know if he was out of town, do you know how long he was gone?
no.
Where's your mom live now?
In Pennsylvania, in outside Philly, retirement community.
Is she close with Eugene? So, yeah, still like. Do you guys have holidays together before this?
I mean, in the remote past, but not
in the past few years.
Yeah, we have. Well, no. I'm trying to think of when the last. I mean, in the remote past, we did. And then your question was issue. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to guess. I really don't want to guess. But I don't know.
Before his arrest, how often would you talk to Eugene on the phone?
Before his arrest?
Yeah.
Well, it depends what time period you're referring to.
That's the last 5 years.
Okay, well, so we there was that between late 2019 and then 2020, probably mid or end of 2022. We didn't have much contact. He was in the no contact. We had a.
Do you have protective order against?
No. But I guess in 20, and then in recent months we had talked a little bit here and there, primarily focused on my uncles. We were sort of the reason was finding a place for my uncle to live. He was evicted, and so we were kind of, well, where's else to go, and kind of working on the efforts to find a place to live, and APS was called APS, and we finally found a place, but so we had communication about that. We kind of, I was kind of a little bit like maybe cautiously optimistic that maybe we might have some kind of like sibling relationship, but I was really kind of like tepid and cautious.
Yeah.
So we did talk, and we did talk, but back maybe once every few days every they're rain 3 days or rain. Something came up twice, but not that in that. Probably more like every grade or something like that. Because I would say, in the context of what's in my with your little plans. We talked about some other like I don't know, see, Christmas time and lives. That kind of thing. But not on a. We've never been close.
Yeah. Do you feel like your mom is closer with Eugene than she is with you, or about the same?
Well, I don't know, but I would feel that my mom and I, for a long time, we talked every day. So I can't guess and say, well, she didn't talk to him every day, but
Would she talk to you about Eugene?
Only if it was like, okay, what is he doing? Like, is it where is he's with Laura, or he's something like nothing
general.
Yeah, just in general at most.
Do you know of any time where your mom was afraid of Eugene? Did she express it?
No.
Do you talk to your dad regularly?
Well, I like to try to have a periodic, sort of check in during the whole COVID thing. I would check in, I don't know, once a week or something, just to see if he's okay. I like to sort of like touch base, like check in, even though not, it's a whole other story. But so what was the question?
I guess, do you talk to him as much as you talk to your mom?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Do you know if he talks to Eugene more so, maybe, than he talks to you?
I don't know.
Where does your dad live now?
In Pittsburgh.
Is he still working?
As far, I mean, in other words, I'm from what he said,
Yeah.
he's.
Is he still a professor?
From what he says, he's part-time.
Is he remarried?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a relationship with his wife?
I think she's nice. I feel very comfortable and kind of connected to her.
Are there any other new siblings or half siblings? Okay. Do you feel like your mom would cover for Eugene if she thought anything like this was happening? Like if she got any idea that he could have been? I would think it was suspicious as a mother if my son, who dated this girl's mother and knew the family, didn't go to the funeral. And that I keep getting stuck on that, thinking like, why didn't nobody make a bigger deal about this with him?
It's a good question, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't know.
Do you think she would talk to affluent?
I don't know. But
you maybe.
I'm the bad about this side.
She probably remembers the pretty, looks pretty intact, but that's very outside.
I don't know that I have much on that. What are your thoughts on the thing? I know that's probably like.
Well, I've been told don't speculate.
Yeah.
I can't really. I mean, I'm not at liberty to speculate, but I don't have anything specific. So.
And I just want to ask you.
I mean, you probably don't want to tell me your thoughts, because that way, if you wouldn't tell me the question.
At the time of Leslie's murder, did you ever have any inclination that Eugene was involved?
At the time, no.
Any time before his arrest, did you have any inclination that he might have been involved?
Not before his arrest. No. I mean, no, not until his arrest.
All right.
I mean, can you say anything? You probably can't, but
everything and even following the charging document, there's obviously like more information that's not out there, but.
So would you say that the fingernail evidence is probably the most compelling evidence you have right now?
To me, in my opinion, if somebody's DNA is underneath somebody's fingernail, like that means that they're fighting to get that person off.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, terrible.
Let me ask you this. Were you aware of any relationship that Eugene had with Lauren's family after they broke up?
No. I'm not aware of it. No. I mean, one question I have is from reading it, it seems.
Why don't you let me out?
Okay,
I really.
Do you guys need a moment?
No, I don't think so. I think if you have some further questions, you and I could speculate about the nature of your case. But if you don't have any factual questions for him, I don't know if you want to muse about the criminal justice system.
I guess one thing I do wonder is I saw you wrote something about being a suspect in. Or incident reports where he's a suspect in, residential thefts and burglary. You didn't say this is burglary singular.
Right.
So maybe I'm reading too much Can you say anything about what?
He was listed as a suspect in a couple of different police reports, but there was never enough evidence to charge him.
Do you know what the location?
In neighborhoods that he lived in. And then I think one was like a girl that they went to her house and they were frequenting, or not frequenting, but they were like visiting overnight. It might have been a party situation, I'm not sure. But he was named from the family as a suspect.
When you say neighbor, you mean neighborhoods out from like where you would live?
Yeah, where your parents, would have a house, like your mom or your dad would have a house.
Okay, so not just like Chevy Chase or.
No, I think it was a mom. It may have been a Newmark.
Oh.
I believe that was.
Are you aware of any other ones that he might have infected that?
No, but that's why I'm asking, like.
Yeah.
Whether with the locations, they're not up to charge. And do you know anything about the park?
That was brought up to us, and that was one thing that we weren't aware of ahead of time. So we are trying to look into that a little bit more and find out.
Just to have any record of it.
Yeah.
That's why we're asking time frames, so that is helpful.
Because we initially, I think it was actually Lisa Wood that had mentioned it to us, because she was like, we were kind of fighting for him, because she was like, I took my yearbook in and said, look, there's a lot of kids that look like him, and we were like, we couldn't figure out when this happened, and we couldn't find his name in any of our systems, but it makes sense that it was part of like the detective, and they have different systems, so. And with it being so old, it's all like archived, a lot of handwritten reports, not as easy now when you can type in a name and search it. So we're still curious about that.
Yeah, the weapon thing was, do you know about what that?
He was arrested for something. I don't want to like put it all out there, but it was something that he was arrested for.
In the context of like another, like it was another arrest, or I mean.
It was back in. It was actually pretty close to
the federal probation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Can you say what kind of weapon?
It was a knife. Okay. And I don't have the report, so I don't know all the details. I just know that what was in his criminal history.
Okay. Yeah. But the other okay.
Do you guys have any family or close friends that live in like New York, upstate New York? Are aware of? Is it family or?
Yeah, it's extended.
Extended family.
Well, actually, they've all moved. Although they've moved.
At the time of Leslie's murder, do you think they lived in upstate New York?
I don't know when they moved. I mean, they're my cousins. The cousins moved. They moved with, there's a few cousins, so.
Your cousins or your parents?
My mother's,
your mom.
My mother's side.
Okay. Did you guys ever go to dinner there? The family?
Yeah, as kids.
What area of New York?
New Berlin, Shenango County.
How about anywhere else in the country? Like Midwest, West Coast? Do you have family all over, or is it only a few places?
Well, there's at the time, or
yeah, at the time.
I don't know. Like I don't know if they lived in California or Florida. There's that, but I don't think he really wasn't. But I don't know, and I don't know if they lived. I mean, there's some cousins on my mother's father's side. There's an uncle. So my mother's mother's side would have been that Shenango County,
New York,
upstate New York, yeah. And then
and her maiden name is Grace.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in that side of the family, my mother's mother's maiden name is Nelson.
Nelson.
Yes. This is the maiden name, but also my mother's brother's.
I see.
First name is Nelson.
Okay.
So it's, but the family and it would be one of my mother's cousins in California, outside LA, but I don't know if I think they might have lived in Florida for some time period and then went back to LA or something about LA area. But
I'm just trying to get an idea if there was anybody that he was going to visit, if when he was out of town during that time frame.
Like who, where?
Right, where, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
I know
really do.
the call.
Yeah.
And we didn't mean to freak you out in the beginning.
Yeah.
We just wanted to.
Well, you wanted to come sooner. And we
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that.
I guess just one thing. I mean, the like you had asked, the fingernail is what
we can ask
later.
And you can, I think I'd rather have Jody answer those questions. And you have my card. Give several.
Yes.
I mean, if you have no other questions,
no.
I think he's totally everything.
Yeah, you've been very helpful.
Right.
And very forthcoming. We appreciate that.
After living his life for 23 years after Leslie Pierre's murder, Eugene Gleiger eventually pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 22 years in prison. Did he get the time he deserved, or did he get off easy for giving someone a death sentence that will never end? Let us know down in the comments. If you made it this far, thank you. And click on the video on the screen to see Sammy Pierre's full police interrogation.